Alright, it's time! Another week. ZTGD Radio. This is episode, wait for it, 799. For June 17th, 2024. We're recording this on Father's Day, so all the dads out there, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, y'all. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, we did it. We did it.
On the show this week, we got Terrence.
Hey, what's up?
And welcome back, Anthony.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother.
He's the least excited about his
blood to Grandpa.
He's the least excited about his appearance out of everybody. Yeah.
I mean, right? I'll be hyped with Anthony on here, man.
Got nothing to talk about, so what the fuck?
I mean,
That's all right.
So
you just give flavor to other stuff that be coming up. Because sometimes I don't be having nothing. I just jump
Shit
in the
is a flavor, I suppose.
Right, this guy. Oh, come on now. You know you are a treasure part of the team.
I'm like that. The Bean Boozled jelly beans. It could be really nice tasting chocolate, or it could be dog shit. I don't know.
Is that Harry Potter shit?
That was what they used to be called, and then they were like, we don't need the license. And honestly, they were right.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Okay, yeah. Well,
the bad ones are bad. I'm saying that.
I was gonna say you tell me that vomit one is edible.
No. The bad ones are bad. But I remember
that was instant. That's an instant. Like you start to gag as soon as you taste it. It's fucking awful.
I just didn't eat them because I don't want to take a chance with that shit.
We played a game. There was somebody like gave us a game that had them where like it was like you had to take a chance. It was like I think like a dice game or something. But like the penalty or whatever, like you had to eat one and decide if it was good or bad or whatever. And that's yeah. So yeah, we ended up trying.
Motherfucker, would you play Rochambeau?
Well, the Bean
absolutely
Boozled.
Not.
Oh, then why would you eat a shitty bean?
The Bean Boozled has like a little spinner, I think, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Spin the bottle?
And then it's like, no, it's like, God, I can't remember the game where you hit the arrow. It's not like Life, because that Life spinner was different, but you hit the arrow. Twister, almost. It's like Twister, where you spin the arrow on the board, but what it does is it lands on the color of jelly bean that you have to try, and everybody picks up one of those colors, and it's like Russian roulette.
It's this. Hold on.
Without the happy ending?
Wow. Without the happy ending.
Well, that's not dark.
Wow, that didn't even come through.
But yeah, they were sold as Bertsy Bott's every flavored bean originally. Yeah. There's a couple of those types of like food challenges where I'm like, I don't know why you'd want to do this. There's I think there's one where it's all chocolate. And then it's like one of the chocolates has like hot pepper stuff inside of it.
Oh, why?
I think I have seen a video of somebody eating that or whatever. That's crazy.
I'll just eat what I know is good. I'm not gonna put vomit in my mouth. Just saying. I don't like any part of this. Anyway.
It's called Bite the Bullet, and all of them are shaped like bullets, and one of them is filled with like a pepper, essentially.
Jesus Christ, no.
That is rolling. Yeah. Golly, you know what? I would do that though. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I would do that. I would not do Rochambeau, not like Russian. I'm not done with all of that, but I would. Anyway.
I'm good. I'd rather just. No, I'd rather just eat something I hate and then move on with my life than like maybe this one will kill you. I don't know. I'm good.
I'm just gonna eat good food.
Yeah, that's what I'd prefer to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat. No.
That's fair.
Anyway, let's talk about video games.
Yeah.
Anthony, you said you didn't have anything, but you want to go first? I know you say you don't have anything, but yet you've been talking about this game in Discord.
Yeah, but I can't really. If I talk about it too much, it ruins it. Hey, do you like visual novels? You should play Paranorma Site. Jay talked about it in his Games of the Year, either last year or the year before. So I finally played it, and I'm just kind of impressed because unlike most visual novels, which can be kind of experienced by either watching an anime adaptation or reading a manga or reading a book,
Manga.
like the story, even when there's multiple endings, the story always kind of relates back to like at best a choose your own adventure book. In this game, it really understands that video games are the medium it's taking place on. So it does a lot of neat stuff with that I've never really seen before. And honestly, the plot was really well done, which is also important when it comes to a visual novel. And so, yeah, I was just kind of overall impressed. And one thing I will say is that visual novels usually cost like full price. Somewhere between, in Canada, it's like $65 and $70 or $75 and $80 now, I guess. Like, they're expensive because despite it not having as much gameplay, there's usually still a lot of writing involved, a lot of art being done. So, to have this game come out from Square Enix, of all people, and it be $30, I'm pretty impressed with that. And that's kind of all I've played over the last little while. It was that and like Zelda. I haven't really played much else. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right. I'll move on to Terrence then.
Well, I haven't really played anything either.
Oh, for fucking sake.
I've been playing. So the Steam Next Fest is going on. And I played. I'm start with these. I played a bunch of the little demos. I never really get too deep with them. Like maybe 5 minutes tops, right? I know people like can go hard in some of them, but I really just want to see if I like the gameplay, right? Like because if I like the gameplay, then then I'm gonna check it out. Like because if I downloaded, there was something I liked about it anyway. So there's a couple of them that I played that I really enjoyed. The Altars. I don't know if y'all remember seeing this. This was at somebody's show. It might have been last year. Actually, I
Is
can't
this the one where
remember.
you're cloning people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that was at Xbox's
So
show last year.
okay, yeah. So it's I guess the spiritual successor to this War of Mine, which was this kind of base building game where you were in a war-torn country and you were trying to basically you took care of the survivors. So you had to send people out on missions to look for resources and stuff. You had to cook and purify water, stuff like that. This is all stuff that I know I don't think is your bag, Ken.
Nope.
Yeah, so you probably done already zoned out. But the Altars takes a lot of that stuff, but it's a sci-fi game. So the character in the demo, you crash land on this planet, and you make your way to your starship, and you contact the Earth Federation or whoever, and you can't really get a signal, and they're telling you that something bad is going to happen in 6 days, and you're in danger. So through the course of this, you end up having to go out and basically scavenge for materials to build things in your base. Like you have to repair the the communications array so you get a better signal with those people or whatever. So it has those elements, but the main thing people care about is the cloning. So the way this works is you are presented with a timeline of Jan's life from childhood up to you crash landing on this thing, and it's filled with different events, like him deciding to leave home early because he was pissed off at the stuff that was going on or whatever, relationships that went bad, and it's really in depth. Like you have to read these little blurbs, but it's really cool. Well, the cloning thing takes that timeline and it then splinters different aspects. So the first one is instead of staying or deciding to leave home, he decided to stay. And so this turned him into a mechanic. And so he became good at repairing different stuff and whatever else like that. So he got a buff in that skill. So that when that clone comes out, it creates a whole new timeline. So now he has his own events leading up to current day stuff. And then so once that person's in the game, you then have to talk to them and you build a relationship. Like he's freaking out based on what you're telling him, like, because she's like, oh yeah, man, you a clone. Like it gives you options, dialogue options on there, but your clones react to the different stuff. Like they have stress levels and fears and stuff, so you got to calm them down and get them okay, and then they'll start working for you and doing different stuff. Again, I only played maybe I played a little bit more of this one just because I wanted to get to the cloning bit. But I'm pretty sold on what I played. Like, but if you're not into the base building and survival elements out the gate, this is not for you because that is a large part of the game. It is an adventure game. I don't know if there's combat because I have not run into anything hostile. On this planet, it's pretty barren. But just the relationships and the dialogue options that I had with just the first clone that I got me pretty excited just at the thought of all the different possibilities, because apparently it's crazy what you can do, kind of mixing and matching these different timelines and splintering off or whatever. So
sounds like
look forward to that.
The Butterfly Effect starring Ashton Kutcher.
Actually, yeah, it's a lot like that. Yeah.
That's
Those
a good
movies were
movie.
okay.
I like that movie.
Yeah. Wizard of Legend 2. I played. I think this. I played the first one when it was on Game Pass, but I didn't really finish it because there was other stuff that was out. This is the same type of game, but instead of being in the pixel kind of visual, Super Nintendo kind of visuals, they are doing like 3D. And it has 4-player co-op, which I don't know if the first one did or not, but it has 4-player co-op, and it's essentially a dungeon crawler roguelite. So you mix and match your various spells, and they do different effects from shooting beams of lightning to manipulating water dolphins around, stuff like that. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna keep
What
my
other
eye
kind
on
of dolphins are there?
What you say?
I said, what other kind of dolphins are there? You said water dolphins.
Oh, well, I meant, okay, well, first of all, let me be that guy. All right, anyways, I've said that because they're made of water, not that they live in water. He forms dolphins out of the element of H2O, water. Anyway,
H2O.
I hate it here. I played Metal Slug Tactics, which was announced forever ago, and I guess it's finally going to come out this year. I put together a little preview for that, which you can find that for some more in-depth stuff. But this actually was pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. It's difficult. It is not an easy tactics game. You mess around and get fucked up real quick. But I mean, you level up the characters, and it's all the ones from the original game, like Marco and Theo and all them are the only ones that I've seen so far. But I think from what I read, they are going to have more characters in there. But you make a squad, and you give them orders, isometrically. I mean, it's like any other tactics game. But this has that kind of Metal Slug feel. So there's vehicles on the field that you can commandeer. I don't know. I kind of dug it. So, what else? What was there was another demo. Oh, Flintlock. I uninstalled some of the
From
stuff on my
Subway?
computer. I apologize. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, the Flintlock, what is
It
this?
sounded like
What
you
is the
said
whole name of that
footlong.
game?
I swear I thought you said footlong.
No, not a foot long. And if it was that, I'd get that foot long. They got cookies now, foot long
Footlong
cookies.
cookie? What the fuck?
Yeah, who needs that? Like, why?
Who needs Subway? Who needs Subway?
I eat it on occasion, but it's not good.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's better sub places.
Well, the
I
thing
go
is,
to,
I'm in a small
like Jersey
town.
Mike's.
That's the only one even close to me. Like the next
No, I'm not
nearest.
blaming. Listen, I'm not
Oh.
blaming you specifically, Ken. I'm just saying in general, if you have an option and you choose Subway,
Oh no! I would, if I had an option, I would never choose Subway.
Yeah, see, I can't even, because my kids, because there's one up the street from us, and I think that's why they do it, because they walk up the street and go to Subway. And I'm like, fuck that, I'll go to Jersey Mike's before I go to Subway. I'll go to Jimmy John's.
I will go to the grocery store and make my own sub before I go.
There
to
you
Subway.
go.
I did that
I
last
would do
week.
that.
I bought a bunch of sub buns and some turkey. It was good shit.
I know it was. Man, it's always delicious when you make your own subs. Oh, man. I might do that tonight. Anyways, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. This is a Souls-light game. Um, and when I say Souls-light, so it does have like the what do they call it? Bonfires or whatever, where you
Ugh.
save, but the enemies do not respawn when you go to this. Um, Combat is on the bumpers, so your melee weapon, her axe, is the right bumper, and then the gun is the right trigger. She is extraordinarily mobile with the black powder, which is like the gunpowder stuff that's in this world. So like she can like air dash and multiple dash on the ground. Like it plays combat wise like an action RPG, but it does have those soul elements because as you fight and you do various moves and chain stuff together, um, you generate this combo essentially, and it gives you the resource in this game that you use to upgrade your character. If you get hit while you're, cause say you fucking shit up and you got like 50%, of a bonus because you kept this combo going. If you get hit, that zeroes out and you lose that bonus. If you die, you drop any of that resource that you're holding. Now the nice thing is you can, when I go talk about losing the combo, like losing that bonus, you can bank any of that at any time you want. So if you hit that 50%, you're like, oh shit, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this next part. You just hold like left button on the or left on the D-pad, something like that, and you'll bank that into your stuff. So you'll still drop it if you die, but that's a way for you to kind of risk versus reward that bonus. So you kind of play with your own skills, like if you think you can do it or if you can't, which I kind of liked. I like the world. I know Ryan said he got some Godfall vibes from the last trailer I think that they showed, and rightfully so, because I definitely was feeling that a little bit too. I am playing it. Again, I didn't go super hard, so I feel better about it. The combat is definitely a lot better than Godfall. I can't remember the lady's name in it, but she's way more mobile, than the suits of armor in Godfall. And the little creature that you have, which I can't remember his name either, because these you can attack with him as well, and he causes like this withering effect on the enemies. And once this meter is filled up, you can do a critical attack, which is like this flashy finishing move that the guns and her axes have. So to me, it plays more like a RPG, action RPG, which I'm all about. So I'm looking forward to this. And bonus, it's on Game Pass. So I mean, y'all should definitely at the very least check it out.
Is it Game Pass on
Um,
PC as well? I think it is, right?
I think it is. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
almost certain. Let me look. Yeah, yep, it is.
I know
Uh,
it's already out there because like I pre-installed it on my Xbox and it was like 17
mhm.
gigs as opposed to the 300 megabytes it normally is.
Yep. So it's done. Is what that means. Like it's done. Like they just waiting for release. So I guess they,
It's like a
probably
month
like,
out, I think, so it's probably gonna have a patch, like so polish and
yep.
shit.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Polish, which from the demo I played on the PC, like I said, it was good. Like I'm sold on it. It kind of calmed the few worries that I had. I'm not, because even though my PC I feel like is top tier. Like I don't have a 40. What you got? A 40? You got a 4070?
4070 is what I got.
I got the last gen, like I got a 3070 in mine, and like some of this stuff like still like it stutters. Like I hate the optimization that I have to do to run PC games. Like, cause you got to go in there and be like, oh, I got to turn these shadows down. I got to do this because it doesn't auto do it. Like I just love
Don't you have
consoles,
the
but I can put it in and
GeForce
go.
app that like will optimize your game?
I do, but it doesn't catch everything. So
Half the
like
time
some
it doesn't even
stuff.
find my games, which I think is
That's
funny.
what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it won't even find the stuff. Like, so because the one game it actually really helped with was Helldivers 2. Honestly, because it found that right away and it hooked me up with that.
It
Um,
finds Overwatch on my PC because I've installed it a few times, but like it doesn't find any of my Xbox games. So like I had Hellblade installed, it had no fucking clue I had it. Even though I pointed it to the folder, it's like I don't think that's a game.
yep, Yeah, yep, does the same thing to me.
This is why I don't
The-
like PC gaming, because I install it on my Xbox or my PlayStation. It's like, yeah, there it is.
It just goes right, and I don't have to go fiddle with the stuff other than to say I want 60 frames or I want 30 frames. You know what I mean?
My
Like
PC
that's it.
would run games better than the PS5, but I don't use it.
Yeah, well, see, and like I said, yours is better than mine, so I'm sure mine probably would, but I just nah, I'm cool. But anyways, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, yeah, check that out. Um, I want to say that's probably the last demo because I had played the Fallen Aces demo before and had dug that one. But that actually got a release. I think it's out in early access.
It's early access, yeah. That's another thing I
Oh,
hate about PC is everything is out before it's out. Fuck off.
everything. God. Cat Quest 3. I played. They put a demo up of Cat Quest 3. Super excited about that. Oh man. Open world. You get a boat. That you can customize with weapons and stuff. You can come off the
When you
ship.
actually are getting like
Here.
wood and stuff, like you can come off the ship.
You feel good about yourself?
I do.
You feel good.
I do.
But yeah, it's a very charming game. If you played the first two, you were probably already going to get this. But this one is, I think the first two played more like isometrically, like even when you were fighting. This one is more side scroller, when you're in dungeons and stuff, which is nice. When you're in the overworld, it plays like the old one, so it's like the isometric combat. It's definitely when you're in your boat, and you can attack, other ships, because it's like an age of piracy, like, and as you collect armor and stuff, it shows up on your character, which I love when RPGs do that. Like I hate when, I get the sword of 1,000 truths and then I equip it and I still look like I got the fucking default sword. Like, show me what the sword that I just put on look like. So, I appreciate that with Cat Quest that you can see all your armor and
The
stuff.
fact that a game about cats is doing it better is just
Right?
kind of funny.
It's crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Cat Quest 3. I liked the other ones, and as y'all know on the show, I am a cat fan because I am a cat daddy. And she's somewhere. I think she outside. Probably gonna bring me a chipmunk or something because she does that all the time. Anyways, um, I think I think that's all the demos I played. I played all the ones that I really cared about. I played a whole bunch of them. But there were a lot of, pretty
I
kind of
mean, it's
mid
Steam
ones.
Next Fest. There's going to be a ton of demos.
Hella. There is hella demos on there. There's card games and shit that I'm sure you
Ah,
don't care about. I know. But this was the last one I did want to talk about. Parcel Core. So this game, and I think it had a demo on Xbox at one point. But so you are a package deliverer on a bicycle, but the game plays like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk or Jet Set Radio type stuff. So it has
Yeah, I saw
the
this
real.
one. It's
I'm
on my wish
getting
list now.
I'm
Did
getting
you? Yeah,
Courier
okay.
Crisis vibes from what you're explaining.
I don't know what that is. What's
I'll
Courier
I'll
Crisis?
pull the deep PS1 game Courier Crisis. I think it was on Saturn too.
Okay. I ain't even hip to that, but I guess maybe it is something like that. But it's open world, like the Jet Set and the Cyberpunk or Cyberfunk. And it was really fun. Like I liked that demo. Like it's on my radar. I definitely am looking forward to that one. Um okay, so that's it for demos. So real games that I played. Um, I played some more Traveler's Rest, running my tavern. That game remains fun. It's a lot of, I didn't realize how much stuff was like missing from it. Like the main tavern loop and all that stuff is there, but like the overworld and stuff, like the city and meeting other people, like interacting storyline stuff is not there because it's early access, which is wild because this has been in early access since I think 2020.
I'm sorry, but
Um,
that screenshot looks like he's being attacked by giant rats.
uh, Okay, you know what though? This is
That's
basically
Courier
that
Crisis
game.
on the PS1. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, just think, new age, better graphics and all that stuff, and I don't think it's gonna have rats that attack.
I don't think those are actually rats, but
No, I know
they
there's
look
no.
they look like rats without tails. It's kind of funny, like big tails
Oh,
anyway.
oh, PlayStation graphics. Um, Okay, yeah, Traveler's Rest is cool. What did I play? I went back to Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation 5.
I mean, it's the only thing it's on.
Well, right now, it's especially if they wanna bring stuff to other places, so it's only a matter of
I
time
mean, we
now.
just had E3 and they didn't announce it, so
Yeah, I know. So it's not going to be this year for sure. But no, that game is good. I got into the Valorant beta and I played that. And my best description of Valorant is that it is Counter-Strike with character. That is what Valorant is.
See, I thought it
So
was more Overwatch, and I was like, okay, I'll check this because they sent me a code too. I was like, I'll check this out, and then you said in the Discord, you're like, yeah, you got to buy your shit before the round. I was like, delete.
yep.
This
My
is not for
only
me.
time- The only time I'm okay with that is something like Killing Floor, which is more of a survival game.
Yeah, it's more like a
love
horde
Killing
mode
Floor.
type game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but like if I'm playing a competitive online PvP shooter, I don't want to buy shit.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it in that game either. It's like I'm okay with it because that's just the type of game it is, but I also
Right.
hate it in there.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
don't like it either. I'm like, just give me loadouts that I can set up before the match, not like as you're counting down for the match to start. Like I have anxiety, so like that shit drives me crazy.
I got you. So to Valorant's defense, they give you like I feel like it's 60 seconds. Like it was a good amount of time.
If
Because
you have anxiety,
played-
if there's a clock, it doesn't matter how long the clock is, it's still a clock.
That's true. I got you. Okay, I got you. That's fair. So then, yeah, it's not gonna matter how long you got.
No, you could
But-
give me 3 hours and I'd still be like, oh my god, am I going to get done?
I got you. I don't mind that having to buy the stuff. I was a huge Counter-Strike fan. As I've said, I never to this day I still haven't played Half-Life, the original or the second one actually,
Wait.
the campaign because I only bought that game. I told y'all I only bought that game for Counter-Strike.
I
Like
still
booted it up
don't believe it.
one
I
time.
still think I need to slap you in the face that you have not played Half-Life or Half-Life 2.
Like everybody says that. Like I'm telling you, like I booted it up.
Okay. Go play
Go
it.
ahead.
Go play it. If you want to play it on a console, go on an Xbox 360 and buy it, the orange box, before the store shuts down, and it is backwards compatible and it gets a resolution boost. Or just buy
actually,
it
I
for
didn't
30
realize
cents on the PC.
On
and-
Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy it for 30 cents on the PC and
Yeah.
get the modding accessibility and all that shit.
know
Man,
what?
Half-Life
I
2
think-
is so good.
I
Goddamn.
think I might have because didn't they give it away for free?
Of
at some
course
point?
they did. They've probably given us
But I think
like
it
if
was-
you may not realize it, but everybody on the planet owns Half-Life.
I got you. Yeah, I thought they. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, I thought I could have sworn I
You need to
redeemed
play
it.
Half-Life 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay, yeah, I'll play Half-Life. That's fine.
And episode
But,
1 and 2 as well.
Okay, so then I could be with everybody else, like waiting for the third one that's never going to come.
It doesn't
Like-
matter.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Alex is making sure 3 is not a thing in the way everybody expected. So,
It don't matter. You
Okay.
still need to play it.
yeah.
Oh, I did play that. I played the VR one, Half-Life Alex. I
No,
played that.
but you've
How
not
did
played.
you play Alex but not played the others?
Like I don't
Because
understand.
I had a VR thing, and that was like the.
Oh my god!
I can't figure
Alex,
out-
Alex's story is heavily based off of everything that happens in like 2.
Yeah, so I didn't really understand anything, nigga. I was just there to pop aliens in VR space and do cool shit.
And-
I'm saying,
Then
I
you'll
didn't
love
understand.
Then you will
Go ahead.
love Half-Life 1.
Absolutely.
'Cause that is Half-Life 1 is and you know what? Half-Life 1 has 2 add-ons that are pretty fucking good too.
I
Yeah,
remember
Blue
that.
Shift
Was it, like
and
Blue Shift
something
and,
Opposing Force.
Yeah.
Opposing
Yeah,
Force.
because you played like the guards that were
Mhm.
against the facility, and then like a random guard, and so I did play some of the first Half-Life. I played up to the point where the aliens invaded or the dimensions crossed over, or whatever, and then my nigga messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm hopping on Counter-Strike," and I hopped off, and I never got back on.
Dude, that's the fucking
Why?
intro.
I know.
I can't.
I
I'm
played any of
having
the
I'm
second-
having deja vu of John all over again, where he was like, "Yeah, I've been playing games for 30 years. I've never played Mega Man." Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Yeah, but his
okay.
makes sense because he had like, I'm gonna play on the ZX Spectrum. Like, no one wants that. I'm going to turn on my BBC Acorn and play a game with a little joystick with one button.
I don't think that's what John sounds like, but it's hilarious.
I don't give a shit. That's the point. John, you're wrong.
Oh man, that was funny.
Your PC past is terrible.
ZX Spectrum. And here in America, we call it the ZX Spectrum.
No, we call it trash.
I think that's what we call it. Oh man, okay.
The only one of those PCs that are like, okay, fair enough, is like the Commodore 64 and the Commodore Amiga. I'm like, okay, I could see where like there's some quality here. Have you seen a ZX Spectrum game? They all look like shit.
Well, there's one on Rare Replay, right? Is it Saberwolf or?
Well, I think
Attic Attack. Rare made a couple.
I think Jetpack has a ZX Spectrum version.
I think you're right.
I think that's the version you play in Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, I know that Saberwolf and I'm pretty sure Attic Attack are both ZX Spectrum games. I think so.
There's a couple. And look, I'll say it now, because I'm sure someone will be upset. The games that are, like, slower and more of, like, a puzzle arcade experience are fine. But going past that, any action game, they're just terrible. They're just terrible. And fuck Dizzy. I'm just gonna say now, fuck that stupid egg.
There's, like, 6 billion of those games, though.
6 billion of those games, and not one of them is kind to the player.
No.
Oh, look, Dizzy. I'm sorry, you didn't know Dizzy couldn't swim? Too bad. Guess you're restarting the whole game over. Like, cool.
I'm Dizzy. Pear's like, what the fuck is Dizzy?
I am. I'm like, what?
Dude, Dizzy is an egg platformer made by Codemasters that in Europe is like,
it's like a point-and-click adventure game.
I shit you not, there's like 6,000 of those games.
He had some NES games. The Codemasters gold cartridges had Dizzy on them.
Oh, what was the name of that? What was the name of that company that made them? I know Codemasters developed them.
Camerica?
Camerica carts. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of.
Camerica published them, and then
there's a whole
Codemasters made all the games.
Dizzy was the pack-in game for the Aladdin deck enhancer.
That's right.
Wow. Okay.
Doubling down on my fuck Dizzy statement.
Yeah, the Aladdin deck enhancer was a cartridge that you plugged other cartridges in that was supposed to make the NES games better. Hint, secret, it didn't.
It was just a way to get around the
lockout chip. Yeah.
The lockout chip. Because it's just all the Camerica games that you could already buy on cartridges.
Which is funny because
smaller.
It was proven immediately because Micro Machines was an Aladdin deck enhanced game, and the NES version ran exactly the same.
Same, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm going to run down all the Dizzy games quickly because we were.
Oh my god!
Just talking. So this starts in '87 and ends in 2020.
Dang.
Dizzy, Treasure Island Dizzy, Fast Food, Fantasy World Dizzy, Quick Snacks, Dizzy 3.5, Into Magic Land, Magic Land Dizzy, Dizzy Panic, Bubble Dizzy, Spellbound Dizzy, Dizzy Prince of the Yolk Folk, Dizzy Down the Rapids, Fantastic Dizzy, Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, Go Dizzy Go. No, sorry, it's Go Dizzy Go. Because there's no... that's terrible. Dizzy the Adventurer, Dizzy Prince of the Yolk Folk Mobile Remake, Wonderland Dizzy, Dream World Pogi, Mystery World Dizzy, and Wonderful Dizzy. And that's just then there's the compilations. The Dizzy Collection, Dizzy's Excellent Adventures. That's a lie. The Excellent Dizzy Collection, also a lie. And the Big Six. And then there's the canceled games. Learn with Dizzy, an untitled Dizzy game from the mid-2000s for PS2, and Dizzy Returns for 2013.
Dizzy.
Fuck Dizzy.
That is crazy. I have never heard of that. That's crazy.
Oh, there's a ton of them, man.
It's one of those games that's like unfair because like it was a lot of memory. You'd have to I think you could only hold one item at a time, and it was basically solve a bunch of puzzles, so you had to do them in the right order, but also Dizzy can't swim and do certain things. If you fall from a height, Dizzy dies, all that unfair shit.
Jesus.
That's what I think of when I think of old British /UK computers is Dizzy and shit like that.
Dizzy was huge in Europe. Clearly.
Yeah, I never. Apparently, it's like the Airy games, man. And the Dizzy
No.
game without Airy on one.
The Airy games, we have better games. I don't know why you'd played Airy. At least with Dizzy, it's like, well, for the time, I'm sure this was high end on lower end systems. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
Also, you have to remember, games at that time, like, their market was dirt cheap because they were all just cassettes. So you could just buy it, like, it would be like £2 for a tape with a game on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, someone would copy all those tapes because it wasn't very hard.
I totally have to put the Dizzy Adventures theme at the beginning of the show.
I think Dizzy should be our mascot.
No.
For the picture that we use for this one.
Fucking Dizzy.
Fuck Dizzy.
Okay, well, so you said something. Speaking of, like, a Dizzy can't jump, like he takes fall. Fucking, you take fall damage in Valorant. Like,
what?
I jumped off. Yes, I was so like, because I played it with my son, and I was on the little upper, and it wasn't very far because the matches are set up like an Overwatch or a Counter-Strike. I mean, you're in like some building, industrial complex or whatever. Like, I mean, there's like a little ramp and a thing, whatever. I just walked off the thing and she's like, oh, and I hear the breaking sound and I lose like 20 health. And I'm like, the fuck? In the year of our Lord, 2024, we taking jumping damage.
In a PvP shooter.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it everything about this game, and I think that's the only reason why I probably won't go super hard in it. Like, it's not bad, but everything is very tactical based. Like, there's movement sensors. Like, if you run too loud, the enemy team will hear. Like, there's a little indicator that shows if you're giving off sound or whatever. So you have to walk real slow and creep up, and everything is just too much. Like, it's so the anti Call of Duty, where you just jump in, you run around, respawn, and do it again. Like, no.
That's my experience in Call of Duty 100%.
I think that's a lot of people's experience in Call of Duty, to be honest. But yeah, like I don't know, 20 years ago, I probably would have got into Valorant, but I haven't played Counter-Strike in over a decade. And I know they came out with Counter-Strike 2 and I didn't even pick it up because I stopped playing with keyboard and mouse. But I might mess around with Valorant with my son and them in like team deathmatch, because they do have where you can play team deathmatch and deathmatch, which the deathmatch one doesn't give you abilities. The team deathmatch would be more your flavor because it gives you loadouts. So what happens is you pick your pistol, like there's 3 different types, and then you pick as the match goes on, they give you like a weapon. I think you get 3 upgrades, and it'll tell you like, equip this weapon at this point or whatever at different time frames. You just hold X, and it'll give you the one that you have picked. So you have a loadout. And then you have free use of your abilities. Like, you don't have to actually pay for them. They're just on cooldown, like in Overwatch.
I'm just trying to understand, and I know Valorant's not a new game, but what is with the resurgence of hero shooters? Like, people have hated Overwatch for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, why is there now this big-ass resurgence of, like, everybody making a hero shooter? Like, fucking PlayStation has a first-party hero shooter. Valve is about to put out a hero shooter.
Nobody wants them. I have not heard anybody super excited. Valorant at least has had an audience this whole time on PC.
Of course, yeah, like, that would make sense.
Okay. I'm like, that's... I don't get it, but at least I understand to some extent. Like, there's an audience for this.
I'm just trying to understand it, because here's the deal with Overwatch.
Fucking Valve and Sony are smoking crack.
Like, Overwatch has been around we're going on 9 years now that game's been out there. Anybody who likes it is playing it. Like, they're not really bringing in new people. I'm just gonna say that. And the people who don't like it really don't like it. So, like, what do you think, like... It's fucking Blizzard. Like, is anybody really going to do it better?
I mean, I see what you're saying. And what I think it is is that because game development just takes so long, because like you said, 9 years for Overwatch. So they saw Overwatch come out, and by year 2, they was like, shit, they own to something. Bam, let's put this into development. I don't know how long those games have been in development. I don't know.
There
But
ain't
I'm
no
sure
way
they
none of
were.
these games been in development for 6 years. No way.
Well, maybe not development, but maybe like at the earliest stages where they were talking about it, right? And trying to outline what characters look like in the universe and stuff like that. Because you're right, it does seem like there's this huge resurgence. But then you're also, if you think back, we did this similarly with the live service games, with like when we got bombarded with Division 2 and Destiny 2 and Avengers and all
But
the all of a
hold
sudden
on,
all
hold on.
everything.
To counter your
Yeah, go ahead.
point, all that shit happened in between Overwatch's launch and where we're at now.
Mm,
So
okay.
so like
I'm
that's
just going to bring up the point that, like, out of all of these things, I don't understand Valve more than anybody else. I do not understand Valve because they have the hero shooter,
yeah,
the
they have
original.
Counter-Strike. Yeah.
No.
Sorry,
That
Team
was
Fortress. Team
Team
Fortress.
Fortress.
Yeah.
And so, like, and Team Fortress for the first time has dipped to mixed.
Which is weird because
Yeah, I saw
Overwatch
that.
is 100% a Team Fortress. Like Blizzard took
Clone.
Team Fortress and
Yeah.
made it perfect. Kind
And
of
made
thing.
it different, made it their
Yeah.
own. But yeah, like, it's so, like, to me, it's like, okay, so this is time for Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Or Team Fortress 3, I should say.
Yeah. Just make a new Team
And-
Right.
Fortress. Yeah.
And they're making something that isn't that. Well, okay.
You know why? Because Blizzard does not, or not Blizzard, because Valve is allergic to the number 3. That's really what that is.
Partially.
They gotta be.
I mean,
At
the people said that about Capcom back in the day. Remember when Street Fighter 2 had 4,000 versions? They were like, we can't count to 3.
Okay, well, see, they just like milking you for every last fucking dollar. Because I don't understand why you gotta have Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Championship, Street Fighter Super Championship, Street Fighter Hyper, Street Fighter. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all doing too much.
Y'all complaining about DLC these days don't know shit. When Street Fighter 2 came out, there was Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo. A year later was on the Genesis. A year later was on 3DO. And this is an incremental upgrade game on a different platform.
Hmm. Yeah,
That shit was crazy.
that is true. Team Fortress, damn, its recent reviews is overwhelmingly negative. God.
Because Valve isn't supporting it really anymore.
Like, you say what you want about Overwatch, but there's new updates consistently. Like, if they would do that with Team Fortress, that shit would still be going.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they just make a Team Fortress 3 instead of doing that? And the only thing that looks different about their hero shooter than Overwatch is that it's in third person, like the Marvel game. But the
Also, what the
Marvel
fuck
game
is
is
Sony
gonna
smoking?
move.
They're
Right, I
gonna
don't know
go
what the
charge
fuck
for
they doing.
theirs. Like, what, huh?
Right, and then they like, yeah, we gonna need $40. The fuck? I wish y'all
There's
will.
like 600 other options, including better ones, most likely, and you're gonna charge $40 for this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are wild. Sony, and we've said this on the show. Sony is back to cocky PS3 Sony days. Like they out here like we can't do no fucking wrong because y'all are wilding. But yeah, the only difference of the Valve game is that it's in third person, and the Marvel game is going to move or at least garner somewhat of an audience just because it's
It's
a Marvel
Marvel.
game.
Yeah, it'll pull in
So
some casuals. I don't think it'll. I think
yeah, I
it'll
don't
do
think they're
well at
going
the
to
beginning,
steal.
but I think it'll level out really fast.
I agree. And like I said, I said on the show, I ride these trains until them wheels fall off if I like it. So I'll rock with that Marvel Rivals until it goes dead. I did that with Gundam. I was there for the beginning and the end.
Which
That's
wasn't
how I got
a big
banned.
commitment. When you commit 9 years to a game, come back and let's have a chat.
Well, that's probably not gonna happen. All right, so you win. All right, just know that you win. I think that's it. I feel like I've talked forever. Y'all don't even need to. I played about some other stuff. Oh wait, I will talk about this real quick. Two things. Multiverses got a patch on Xbox because I know the Xbox version was unplayable. It is now playable. Is it back to what it was before they took it away? No, but it's still fun casually.
There should be no but there. That game was out a
There
year
should-
ago. It was fine. They took it away, made it worse, and now we're trying to revert back to where we were. I feel like this is
Yep.
Overwatch.
Yep, it is. I was going to say that. It's basically what's happening. So they're going to slowly check because they're supposedly looking at the speed thing, which at this point I've kind of adapted to
Nobody's talking about
the
that
speed
game.
thing. I know they
Troy,
are
what
not
game?
exactly
Multiverses.
multiverses.
Oh fuck, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
Yeah,
cares
he's like,
about that game.
out. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, but I mean, again, I like Batman, and I like some of the other characters in there that I don't have in other games. So I go in there and do that. I mean, it's kind of shits and giggles. It's nothing
I'm gonna
hardcore.
say that the worst thing that they did was take that game away for a year because they still
Yep.
had more of a fan base.
I don't
Or they
understand why
fucking
they
put it
did it.
away.
I don't
I don't
get it.
either.
Like if you'd have just left it running and made these changes, people would have been like, "Oh, I don't like this," and you could have just corrected it on the fly.
Right. But they took it away. They changed the engine. They put it in Unreal Engine 5, I think is what it's running in. Um, I don't understand.
I
Like
couldn't
they
tell. It
changed
looked
the
exactly the same.
colors. For the my brother in Christ. Yes, it does. Like I'm like, why the fuck? It doesn't. It looks the same. Like they put two pictures of Batman up, before and after the engines, and I'm like, man, so his chin is a little shinier. That the fuck?
Is
That's
this
what y'all
like
did this for?
is this like the picture of The Last of Us remaster where it was like, which one's which?
Yes.
I can't.
Yes. Basically. Like they shouldn't have taken it away. But
Y'all need to stop
for those that
chasing.
care,
Y'all need to stop chasing fidelity. Just make a fucking fun game.
thank you. My God. But yeah, for those that care, it did get its patch on Xbox and it is playable. Whether you enjoy it, well, that's
Well,
up
that
to
other guy that plays it with you, will be thrilled.
you. He will. And then I've been playing for review. I'm reviewing the DLC, which I actually haven't gotten to yet, so I can't even speak about that bit. But this police simulator patrol officers game is okay. So I like it. It's actually pretty fun. It's funny too because I'm gonna have to stream it because when I'm playing it, I'm down here like talking to myself, and I am like I'm playing like a rogue cop. Like I'm out here just stopping people because you can walk up to people and you can stop them and you can frisk them. You can ask them for ID, like all the stuff that cops do. Now you get hit negatively for doing stuff like that. Like if you just approach somebody and be like, "Hey man, get on the fucking ground," like they gonna be like, "Okay, well you didn't have cause for that. Why did you tase that woman? We gonna take
'Cause
20
that shit
points
was
from you."
funny.
Basically. So, but anyway, stuff like that. But if you play it, like you should, it actually it's a super enjoyable experience too. So like even driving around, like I finally got a car because you start off as like a beat cop. So I'm on foot giving tickets for people parking meters and parking on the curb and stuff like that. Then you gradually get built up to handling like car accidents. And the whole game has like a realistic, I'm using air quotes here, a realistic traffic simulation. Excuse me, which works some of the time. I've seen car doors open while people are driving down the street and just randomly close. I've seen cars spin like doing donuts, but they weren't really doing donuts. They thought they were like making a turn, but they never completed the turn. Um, but when it works and everything is fine, it actually is kind of cool. Like you'll see accidents happen in real time, like somebody slamming on the brakes and the skids and bam, and then the other car, and then you have to come over and talk to the witnesses and take pictures for the report and all this. Um, it's you're a cop. It's pretty fun. Like I don't know, I'm enjoying what I played. It's janky as fuck. No really way of sugarcoating that. Janky as fuck. The player, you don't create your own character. It has pre-made ones. So there's like a couple of women and some dudes, and I picked the black dude, and oh man, like his hair is like into his. It's just very janky looking. I have to
Is
get
it the
y'all a picture.
Killmonger?
No, he does not
At
have
least
the
we got that
Killmonger.
going.
I was
At
gonna
least
say,
we
well,
got
you
that
can't
going.
really
props
do
for that.
that. Yeah, that doesn't work with like a. Because I'm assuming this is being a police simulator style game, like everybody's generic as fuck.
Yeah,
You
basically.
say that, Ken, but like they have forced that haircut into everything.
Hey, there's a dude on Valorant that has one. It's just his hair is shorter. If his hair was a
Who
little
clipped
longer,
this? Who clipped this?
who clipped?
I just got a notification in Discord that somebody clipped some audio.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
wasn't
know.
me.
I didn't do it.
How
It
the
wasn't me.
How the fuck?
Anyway,
why did I get a
I
message
turned on-
for that?
Do that.
I turned on a tower full of cats so I could look for cat pictures while you guys talk.
Nice.
Oh my
I didn't even know
God.
you could clip stuff.
I
But
didn't
anyway,
either, but like apparently it just said somebody may be recording your voice. I'm like, excuse me?
Nice. Oh, you know what? It's because when you turn on the Steam thing, or maybe it's GeForce. I don't know. There's apps that like if you hit a button, it'll start recording. And
Oh,
so
okay.
he's
Maybe that's
doing
what happened then. I
Yeah,
assume
you're
that's
good.
what happened. Okay.
Yep, that's all it is.
Otherwise,
but
there's
okay.
somebody else. There's someone else in the room with us.
I can't
Right.
see them. They're hidden.
And they listening. To
Must
us,
be.
man.
You know who it is? It's fucking Dizzy. He's coming. He's coming for his egg revenge.
The fact that he has an Indiana Jones hat, like, what? Oh man, I swear I've never heard of that. Like, that's just wild. Okay, the police. Yeah, I'm gonna write a review on the review. The review, the expansion, excuse me, is Dizzy Highway Patrol. Is the expansion, so it's going to put you out, on the highway. So you'll apparently there, and I haven't gotten this far, but apparently there's like drug deals that you can break up, and the high speed chases and stuff that's going to be in the expansion and stuff like that. So looking forward to get into
When's
that.
the OJ DLC coming?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him about that. Oh, that's the other thing. Like you work the crime scenes, so like it has that kind of like detective thing. Not quite as good. Not
He
anywhere.
he
Not
plays
even
a
quite.
crooked cop. You get your fingerprints on everything. Like, oh, the evidence is ruined.
Can you like throw some weed in somebody's trunk?
You cannot, and I was actually disappointed that you cannot do stuff like. So the most that you can do because I totally tried to play. I was like, shit, I'm about to be a crooked cop. This is about to be funny. Like the most that you can do is like hassle people. So like you can come up to people and like frisk them and all this other stuff, and they get all pissed off, and you get like points against you. But you can't like plant drugs or something like that. I guess you can even arrest them. Like you could just arrest, like put somebody in cuffs and have somebody call them and take them in.
I'd
And they'll
just
take points
arrest
from you, but you
everybody
can't,
on
like,
the
plant
street.
stuff.
Every single person.
You know what? I'm going to try that the next time I play. I just thought about that. I'm going to try it. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a good time. It is janky though. Just know that if you're thinking.
I expect most of those games to be janky. So
Listen,
whatever.
man. Listen. I put a screenshot, and then I'm gonna get off here so you can go because I feel like I've been talking forever. I put that screenshot in the chat. I started a shift. Like, because you pick your shifts at the beginning of the mission, and then you go into the city, like your area where you're patrolling. And I was like, okay, I want to do an evening shift. It started at 3 p.m. and my shift was over at midnight. Nigga, why was it 11 p.m. and it was still sunny outside?
You're in
At
Alaska.
no point. I'm like, oh, we must be in Alaska. I thought they said this was like the West Coast, but okay. Like, at no point did it get dark. Ever. Like it just stayed bright the whole, and I'm like, wow. All right then. And you have like headlights on your patrol car that you use to like, and if the tooltip came up when I pulled somebody over to use this like light to like direct them where I wanted them to park or whatever. And I'm like, well, the fuck they go see it? The sun is out. Like, what is this like gonna do? Anyway, the game is janky, but the game is fun. So all right, I'm done. That's what I play.
I know you. I want you to know you started this conversation by going, "I didn't play anything."
I know, right? And an hour later,
There's all kinds of shit to talk about. Okay, all right. I got a few things I didn't talk about. So, I upgraded my PlayStation Plus this month so I could check out the PS2 games. Wow. Okay. So. Yeah, they run in 480p, like 30 frames a second, and it's kind of not great. Like
they don't care.
Also,
Wow,
what is with the choices? Like Sly Cooper, pristine, great choice.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider Legend, Okay. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. What? Also, the prices of these things, they make no sense. So, Star Wars: The Clone Wars is $5. Okay.
All right.
Sly Cooper is $10. That's a pretty good price. Tomb Raider is
Okay.
$20.
Why the fuck is Tomb Raider $20?
I don't know,
I don't
but
know, because you can buy. Well, it's probably because you can buy the Xbox 360 version for $20.
so I booted up the Xbox 360 version just to compare, and I know it's a PS2 to a 360 game, but motherfucker, have you seen some PS2 emulation? That shit look good.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, for sure.
this does not. Like it looks like it's running in 480p, and it's man.
They don't care.
No.
Like, Sony don't care about their classic stuff, and that's so sad.
It makes me sad because also, motherfucker, how you only gonna have 3 games out of 4,000?
Right.
There are
Now, I loved
4,000
your...
PS2 games.
You kind of was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, Sly Cooper, that's cool. All right. And then they gave you... What was the second one you said?
The Tomb
I
Raider?
don't remember. Tomb Raider. He was like, okay, Tomb Raider, all right. And then what was the last one?
It's fucking Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Star Wars.
Like,
Just
okay.
like, what the fuck?
Like,
What?
this fucking Twisted Metal ripoff game. And like, what?
Oh, that is what that one was. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah. I don't understand. I guess they're putting out Ghost Hunter this week, which that's a cool pull.
That
But
is cool.
I don't-
played that game on PS2.
Dude, I went and played it because I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check this out. Like, it's not out yet on
Hold up.
PS5, but I went and checked it out on the actual PS2 version. I'm like, wow, this is early 2000s as fuck.
Yeah, it's a rough looking game.
Gotcha.
Like the main character is this dude with like shaggy hair, and he's like, "What are we doing, man? Ghosts!" Like,
That's a game that is front loaded to the point where it's like, this is really good, and the further you get in the game, you're like, okay, well,
yeah, it's
fine.
it's something.
It is a weird game because, like I was saying when you brought it up, Sony of America thought it wasn't good enough, so they didn't put it out, and so Namco did. But everywhere else, it's a Sony first party game.
Yeah, is it made by the same
That's
studio
what
that
I was
did
saying.
Extermination? Was that
It's the same studio that did Medieval.
Medieval? Okay, who did Extermination? Because they brought Extermination
Fuck,
over here.
Maybe I don't know.
Fuck. Man, I revisited a bunch of PS2 games this weekend, and man, the PS2 is PS2 as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Like that was an era, and you can feel it when you play a PS2 game.
I believe it.
Lazarus Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but
That's the dude's
That's
name.
the main character.
Oh, in the Ghost game?
Yeah, his name's
Yeah.
Lazarus Jones.
I forgot about. Okay.
Okay, so here's they were when they were closed, they were Gorilla Cambridge, but they were formerly SCE Studio Cambridge.
Yeah.
Beast Wars Transformers,
Which one?
the PS1 game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh,
I mean, the
yeah,
N64
no.
ones weren't much better.
No,
No.
they were all bad. But that PS1
Frogger.
one was
They did the first Frogger game.
not the original, the remake one for PS1.
The PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medieval 2. They did C12 Final Resistance.
That game is better than you think it is.
I don't know that game.
That was one of the last PS1 games released, and it's actually
2001.
pretty
So yeah.
Yeah.
They did Primal.
good. I liked Primal.
Oh,
I
liked
like
Primal.
Primal too.
Yeah.
My icon on Sony was the gargoyle for the longest time.
Yeah, I like that game. You can still play
Ghost.
it on PS4.
I didn't
It's
know that.
worthwhile. It's worthwhile for what it is.
Yeah, I like it.
Ghost Hunter. They did Medieval Resurrection for the PSP.
Yeah, which was the first remake of Medieval.
Yep. They did 24 the game.
That game is not great.
I liked it.
Little
I was
Big
like,
Planet
yeah.
for the PSP, which is the first Little Big Planet I played.
That makes sense.
I like that game. It's fine. It's Little Big Planet on the PSP. TV Superstars
Oh God, I remember that. Oh,
with the Move controllers.
that was the Move controllers. Fuck, I hated the Move.
Killzone Mercenary on the Vita.
That's a pretty good game.
Yep. And what do you think their last game was? Hint, it was PS4.
Siren? I don't know.
Let me rephrase that. It's a VR game.
I don't know.
Does the name Riggs Mechanized Combat League remind you of anything?
Oh, Jesus
have
Christ.
you
I remember
fully
when they were
forgotten?
trying to sell that game on the stage. Oh.
That was the last game that team made.
Man, every time somebody tries to make a car combat game for Sony, they die.
Yep.
Remember when they tried to charge $70 for Destruction All-Stars?
Yeah, I played that game.
It's it's fine, but it ain't $70.
That
it's not
PS3
$70.
Twisted Metal remake.
That one was actually done by Jaffe, and it was not great.
Yeah, and then that was the end of that studio, I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah, that's when he got let go. Yeah, that game is hard to go back and play, not because it's control-wise. It's like it's complicated to get into. Like, it had cool ideas, but the fact that there was only one driver really kind of took the character out of that game.
Oh, I didn't play it.
Yeah, I didn't care for that one. Twisted Metal Black and Twisted Metal 2, those are the goats. Just do that. Anyway, I did play a little bit of the Rocket Knight collection. Those games are cool, but like again, I feel like we're just getting these collections. Like, there's not a whole lot to them. Like, there's a rewind, there's some filters, but like, I don't know. I haven't dug deep enough into it to see if there's more. Like, I feel like the Cat collection, which I don't really call a collection, I call it 2 games. Like, they're just feeling kind of minimal. I hope Gex has more stuff. Like, that's the one I've been waiting on from them. Like, I'd really like to see if they do anything extra for those games, because there was a whole lot of shit behind the scenes of those games. I'd love to see some stuff on.
What I would like from Gex, which is not a thing that a lot of people know, and I don't remember how I found out. In the UK, Gex was voiced by a different person.
Oh, really?
So not only was he voiced by a different person, he was voiced by 2 different people. I believe the first Gex is Dana Gould, no matter where you play it. But Gex 2 and Gex 3 have a British actor.
Didn't Gex 2 and Gex 3, they were published by a different team?
Let me just quickly look this up.
They were developed by Crystal Dynamics. The first one was.
They were all so in the UK or in Europe, Crystal Dynamics published it on the PlayStation, and Midway published it in North America.
Yeah, Midway.
Same with the N64, but GT Interactive did the N64 version. Man, these are all weird. I do hope. Here's a weird one too. I hope that they bring the Game Boy games in too, because the Game Boy Color games were pretty good adaptations of what Gex was in a 2D platformer. Let me just quickly see. I'm trying to find.
God, I remember when they tried to make it sexual. That was weird.
That was Gex
I
3.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Gex 3.
Yep.
That was weird.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand why you're doing this. He's a fucking gecko.
Yeah, so man, okay, hold on. I'm just trying to. In the North American version, Gex is voiced by the Canadian Dana Gould. The UK version features Gould, as well as Leslie Phillips and Danny John Jules as the voice of Gex.
Okay.
And then in the Japanese version of Enter the Gecko, Mitsuo Senda voiced Gex. So I'm just trying to find. Yeah, so the PAL version, it's Dana Gould across all of the Gex titles in the first game. The second game is Leslie Phillips. I'm just going to see if I can give you anything that he's from. He's the voice of the Sorting Hat in the Harry Potter films.
Huh. Okay.
And,
wow.
Yep.
Okay. Huh.
And then Danny John Jules is is anybody familiar with Red Dwarf?
Red
I
Dwarf.
know of it. I don't think I.
So the actor who plays Cat, which is a cat that over the years where Red Dwarf has been going through space, has evolved into a human, essentially, a humanoid cat. He's the voice of Gex in Deep Cover Gecko, or whatever the fuck the third one's called.
Yeah, it was Deep Cover Gecko. I wonder if this collection will also have the the 64 variant of Gex too.
That's right, because that had the Titanic level.
Yeah, it was a different, like, Night Dive does that when like they mash two versions of a game, they'll just put them all in one game. So I'm curious.
Yeah,
But
I'm
anyway,
just kind of see if there's any differences. But yeah, Gex is a weird series because I feel like they couldn't really make it work.
yeah, it never seemed to hit like it should have. I still like all those games. I like all three of those games. So.
I don't like the first one very much.
You got to get past that fucking opening stage. That's when it gets better.
I just don't like the look of it. I think that's big. Like, when you look at... Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Gex GBC. Like, of course, it only brings up the fucking box art. Not very helpful now, is that? Fucking Christ.
Interwebs.
Like, I don't know, it just... I felt like it was too dark and edgy looking.
I still feel like...
kind of realistic.
I still feel like, unfortunately, and people have talked about this before, like, whenever people talk about that first Gex game, they very rarely ever show any of the levels outside of the goddamn horror levels. And, like, some of the later levels are so much more colorful and interesting. Like, nobody ever gets past the horror levels. Which, by the way, the boss of that world is Linda Blair puking green soup.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably never made it out of the horror levels.
Nobody did, and that's why nobody's ever seen like those later colorful levels. So,
but I still think it's like a very odd looking game. Although I've always liked the design of Gex, and that stays pretty constant throughout. But
yes.
like, I don't know, it's very much a 32-bit pixelated sort of game look to it, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, it's crazy like, that game was a 3D
somewhere between
game.
A cartoon and like photorealism that they're trying for that I just don't think looks very good.
All right, but yeah, I'm excited for that whenever they get that. What else did I play? Some of the indie games I played, Magical Drop 6, which is an old Match 3 puzzle game. It's good, but man, I don't understand why everything has to be horny. Like when you get a 3 match, like the girl moans, like anime shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are we doing this? Panzer Paladin finally came to PlayStation and Xbox. If you haven't played that, you should totally play that. It's very much like... It's got a structure of a Mega Man game, but the hook is like you just pick up random weapons and you can use them to attack, or you can like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like break them down on the fly, and then you get like perk bonuses. It's a great game. It's a really, really fun game. They made a 2D beat 'em up for Willy's Wonderland, even that Nicolas Cage Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff movie.
Yeah,
it's awful. What? It's awful. Like, it's one of the worst beat 'em ups I've ever played.
Why did they make? Oh, you know what? It's fine. Okay.
No, I don't know why they made it, but they did. What else did I play? I revisited a bunch of old stuff because I was just trying to get something to catch with me that I would like to play through again. I never went back and revisited Killzone Shadowfall after they bumped it to 60 frames per second on the PS5. That feels like a different game.
I didn't play that at all. Is it good?
It's a good game.
I liked Killzone 3. That was
But like playing it at 60 frames a second, you know, the thing about Killzone that always threw me off was like how heavy and slow everything felt. At 60 frames a second, this feels like Titanfall like shooting. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay, I can dig this.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I was trying to finish Alan Wake. I just don't think I like that game. Alan Wake 2, I should probably clarify. I beat Alan Wake 1 twice, actually. I really enjoyed that game. Alan Wake 2 just, I'm sorry, I just feel like it's up its own ass. Like, you play it, and it's just like, look at this really weird Twin Peaks shit that makes no sense, and like, it's not really a game. It's like, ooh, I'm dancing, I'm on a television show, there's some FMV, this weird voice, like, it's not a fun game. Like, I know people are screaming into their headphones right now.
I am
Like-
not. Hey man, you're entitled
No,
to your
we
opinion.
know you don't have taste. It's fine.
I mean, that's
I
true.
say
That's
not playing
fair.
the game.
That's fair. Like, I played it for 5 hours. I feel like I gave it a fair chance. I'm just like, what? Where is this fun? Like I didn't
It's
do
not
anything.
for everybody.
I've
Like,
literally shot 2 people in 5 hours.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I believe it. Okay. Yeah.
Like,
The beginning of it is not very combat heavy. It's more. Like
I
you
may
said,
okay. I'll
it's-
tell you where I threw in the towel.
Okay.
So I was playing the Allen sections where like you do the light to go down the subway.
Yep.
I go down to the subway, there's like this thing shining, and it's like you have to look at it from a specific angle. Motherfucker,
Yep.
I looked at that thing from every angle possible. Nothing ever happened.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. That's his inspiration or whatever.
Nothing
And
happened.
That is frustrating. And I don't know if that's a glitch or what, because I ran into one. There's one that you do later where you have to like walk around, because it's not you have to be in a specific position.
I
So
did.
you have to walk around it, and then you have to walk away from it.
I did.
So that it kind of like starburst. Then it might have just been glitched too, because you know that game is does have.
I
bug
circled it
problems.
100 times, walked forward, walked backward, walked through it, walked around it, looked up, looked down. Nothing ever happened. And that's not the first time I got stuck on a puzzle in his section.
Me too. Same. I was telling you, actually that was one of the ones that I had to walk away from for a day or so, and I'm thinking it was just glitched because similar to you, like I walked around it. I went because at this part you could get up, like there was elevation, like you could go up. So I went up, I went to the behind, I went to circle, I went and it never triggered. And I'm like, man, fuck this game, and it still had all the audio issues at that time too. So when you say all of that, I feel you 100%. I
Yeah,
believe you.
like I'm like
that's fair.
Like I spent an hour playing it the other day, and I was like, I have not had a minute of fun. So
Yep.
I think
I
I'm
got
done. I booted up Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. That's a dark ass video game. I don't.
What is that? Oh, the Persona game?
Yeah, like that.
No, this is the main series.
Yeah,
if you
it's-
go in expecting Persona, you'll be very disappointed.
Although it's like this developer only knows how to create like overworld themes in schools, because again, you start in a goddamn classroom.
Oh my god.
Well, I
Like-
think the original, I believe the original novel that they're all based off of, which yes, these are technically licensed games.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Japanese only novel. I believe that originally also takes place in a school.
Dude, everything that this team makes takes place in a fucking school. And like, it's almost a turnoff to me at this point, because like, you get into the classroom, like, here's your character, because I guess you don't get to choose your character in this game, it's just that character. And like, it dumps me into a classroom, and it's like, there's some crazy shit going on, find somebody to walk home from school with, and I was like, oh, God damn it. That's the thing I didn't like about the Persona games, was and I know a lot of people, that's like their big thing, is like the relationship and the school stuff.
No.
Like, I wish I
was
could just
skeptical.
skip that shit.
Same. I liked Persona 5, but I hated that I had to do all the school activities, and then he had to have a job. Like, oh!
Yeah.
So I looked it up. The book is called Digital Devil Story.
Yeah,
the
they actually
game
made a
had-
game with that title, right? Or Digital
Yes.
Devil Saga was one of them.
That was the PS2 one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Digital Devil Story is the original game published by Namcot, of all people, for Famicom, and the subtitle was Megami Tensei,
Yeah.
and it takes place in this. The story sees Japanese high school students Akemi
Ugh.
Nakajima and Yumiko Shirasagi combat the forces of Lucifer, unleashed by a demon summoning program created by Nakajima.
Okay. I'm just
Damn,
gonna.
Lucifer?
I'm just
They
gonna
going
say
after.
this. I'm just gonna say this one time. All these games are based on high school students, and they are sexualized as fuck online.
The
Yeah.
originals aren't as bad. The original
But
stories
people
are not like that.
online do
Oh,
it.
really?
People
They do.
online drawing sexy pictures of high school students. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right. The last game I have to talk about, my embargo will be up tomorrow morning, so I can tell you all about it, which is Still Wakes the Deep.
Oh.
I've been playing this, God, it feels like forever. Like, I think I got it like 2 weeks ago. So this is very much like, I would like to call it a Soma-like. It is very
It's
much
from the Chinese room, isn't
yes,
it?
the Chinese room, which I didn't know was a Sumo Digital studio, which is crazy.
It must be now. That must be a new thing.
Yeah, I think they kind of bought them or something, but yeah, it's made by the Chinese room, and it takes place on an oil tanker out in the middle of the ocean, and like you play this guy who like basically gets fired right at the beginning of the game because he keeps messing up, and then as he's getting ready to go leave, like this big thing shoots up through the bottom of the tanker and like destroys it, and then like you go through basically sneaking around behind these. It does something to the people on the tanker. It causes them to go crazy and become like monsters. So it's all about like just kind of stealthing through things, solving puzzles kind of deal. Looks very, very good. Runs very, very well. Very creepy, good atmosphere. But it's very hard to understand because everybody on that boat has the thickest, I'm going to say Scottish, maybe Irish accent. You cannot play this game without subtitles unless you are used to that kind of language. Like,
Nice.
it is thick, like really thick, and they'll use words like "I" for yes, and even in the subtitles it'll say "yeah," but they clearly just go like "I." It is. You have to play the game with subtitles.
So I looked it up. So in 2017, they basically laid off the entire staff, which was 8 people. So there was only 2 of them left. They released a game called So Let Us Melt for VR as a duo. And then in 2018, Sumo Group bought Chinese Room for £2.2 million. They hired a bunch of people back. And then, Still Wakes the Deep seems to be their first. Oh, no, sorry. Little Orpheus was the first game, which was an Apple Arcade game.
Oh, that game is great.
And then Still Wakes the Deep is the newest one.
It's good.
I don't like. Here's the part that. Here's the part that makes me worried. They're the team that's doing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 now.
Yep, that's what had. I thought that was the same company. That's what has me worried because they're not that type of.
They're not that type of studio.
Yeah,
this is mostly a walking simulator.
Yes, right? This is 100% like you're gonna walk from point A to point B. You're gonna do a little bit of puzzle stuff, like use a screwdriver to open a vent to crawl through. Eventually, you get a flashlight. There's a heat mechanic which kind of drives me crazy. You have to find heaters to warm up because if your body gets too cold, it starts shivering. But it is genuinely creepy. It gives me a lot of Soma vibes. Like if you've played Soma, when you're near the monster, like it fucks with the screen. And in this game, it's the same thing. So when you're near whatever this shit is, because it's like all over the ship, it's like it looks almost like oil on the screen, like where it's got this like real rainbow liquid kind of look to it. And when you're close to it, it'll like put that on the screen just to kind of mess with you. So it's very similar to Soma in that respect, where whenever you're near something, it's very visually apparent.
I didn't play Soma.
Soma's really good. It's a fucked up story when you realize what's actually happening in that game.
Gotcha.
Drew and I played through like about 80% of it. We
watched most of those.
Yeah, those videos are hilarious. And I wish we'd have finished it. But we didn't, unfortunately. But we did get to the twist, which I think we were both sitting there. We're like, "What the fuck?"
Nice. Okay.
But no, I really enjoyed Soma. It's one of the few horror walking simulators that I really, really dug. And this one's giving me a lot of those vibes, so I'm enjoying it. And then I realized I played 90 hours of this season of Overwatch. So,
Brother, that's a lot of Overwatch. I'm not gonna lie.
you know
That's
what?
just this season. Jesus.
You know what it
What's
was?
your
I'm going to tell you what it was. I got irritated at the fact that I worked over the years, and this has just been like disheartening to me. Like over the years, I just kept getting better and better and better at the game, and like my rank kept going up, 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 up. Well, I hit Masters, and I felt really good about myself, and then they did that rank reset,
Mm-hmm.
and now I cannot climb out of Platinum. And I don't understand it because like I'll play games and like I'm clearly doing very well and I'm just getting teamed with people who are just awful. Like just some of the worst players I've ever seen. And then I just can't win enough to climb and like they're saying like, "Well, then you're where you should be." I was like, "Motherfucker, I spent 8 years climbing up to Masters."
Right.
And you're going to tell me that I was actually 2 ranks below that? Like, do you realize how, like, disheartening that is? So, like, I was trying so hard to get myself to Diamond, and I hit it, like, 6 times this season, and it, like, clockwork. As soon as I hit Diamond, I would drop 7 in a row.
Jesus.
7 straight games in a row as soon as I hit Diamond and fall all the way back down to, like, Plat 2. And I gotta say, they got me, because I kept coming back and trying to do it.
One day they'll fix the matchmaking on that.
No, they
I
won't.
believe.
I don't.
I believe, man. One day.
I don't. I don't believe they will. I don't think they care at this point. But anyway, I spent a lot of time playing that stupid fucking game. I'm not gonna talk about that, but we'll talk about what's coming out this week. It's a pretty decent week. We've got Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5 games. We've got Age of Wonders 4, Eldritch Realms. For some reason, Crime Boss Rocket City, Cagnali's Order.
Why?
I don't know, but somebody's been begging me in my email to take a Steam code for review, and I've just ignored that email 100%.
Yeah, no.
Horror Tales: The Beggar. Police Simulator Patrol Officers Gold Edition, which you just talked about. Still Wakes the Deep, which I just talked about, which is also on Game Pass, by the way. So I recommend you check it out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I will check it out.
Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road, which is the newest expansion. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun Forges of Corruption, which is an expansion. Glyphs of Gizan. Goat Simulator 3 Multiverse of Nonsense. That should be the title of the next Marvel movie. Ever After Falls. Grand Prix Story. Rusted Moss. Times in Galaxy. And Tyler Perry's Shadow of the Erd Tree. Sorry, Elden Ring. Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Bruh, I was about to lose my shit. He said Tyler Perry. I was like, what the fuck is Tyler Perry doing?
Is the villain a dark-skinned black man?
Wow.
I love you, Anthony.
The fact that he disappeared as he started laughing, he just faded into the void.
Yeah.
Shadow. He fades into
I'm a
the
light-skinned
shadow
black
of the
man,
Erd
and I
Tree.
love Jesus, and I love you.
Wow.
Oh, I love that episode of the Boondocks. Oh,
So it was something because I'm not like a huge Tyler Perry fan, but I've seen a couple of his stuff, like his show mostly, and then like it was just when that was mentioned, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, this is exactly what happens.
man, if you watch the movie, because this is a black movie, so like I hung out with family members and stuff. Niggas love Tyler Perry, and I was always the one sitting on the end of the couch with a crumpled face, like this is trash. Why are we watching this? I can't stand Tyler Perry. Oh,
I don't know. Just
okay.
whenever I hear Erd Tree, I think of Tyler Perry for some weird reason.
That was really funny. Yeah, that was just really funny. Oh, did you see? And I have to find the trailer. There's a movie coming out that literally is just dunking on Tyler Perry the entire. Like it's just a parody of Tyler Perry.
Yeah,
Like
I saw they were making. He's got his scary movie moment. So
yes, yes. Oh God, I'm gonna go see that at the theater. They gonna get my money because I can't stand that Negro. All right,
all
okay.
right, PlayStation 5 is pretty much the same stuff, but we're also getting Ever After Falls, Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted 2, and My Life Pet Vet.
Okay.
So please be excited. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, not a lot. These systems are finally kind of fading out. We got Blood,
You know
hashtag
how they
Blood.
write the boss names in like Dark Souls and shit.
Yeah,
It would be Medea, Medea of the matriarch of the Simmons clan, and then the health bar would pop up at the bottom.
okay.
She would have a purse that she would swing
She
around
attacks
and
with
she
a
would
purse.
pull
She
guns
attacks
out
with a
of it.
purse.
What?
Somebody needs to make this. Somebody needs to make this. Speaking of mods, I thought about
Oh, man.
reinstalling Starfield and just downloading the Star Wars mod and starting over. Wonder how that
Do you
would
do
go.
that on Xbox?
Yeah, Xbox has mods now. They just added it in that patch.
Oh, I might have to try that.
Is it
Okay.
mods or is it only mods they okay?
I mean, that's how that.
Because
Works.
that's how it worked in
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
Oh,
But the
I
Star
bet the
Wars
PC
one is up
one's
there
more
at least right now. So
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I did play all of GoldenEye and Far Cry 5, so
yeah, like I'll give it a shot if it works. I'll give a fuck about the achievements, so whatever. But if I can run around shooting stormtroopers, that'd be a hell of a lot more interesting than whatever the fuck I was shooting in Starfield.
Right.
The only game on here on Xbox that I didn't see anywhere else is Whole.io, which I don't think you should Google that.
I saw that on the thing because I was like, is that like Survivor IO? And I think it is,
it's
but you're a black hole. It's
yeah,
weird.
it's oh god, what's that game? Donut County, essentially.
Oh, I like
Okay, yeah, I
Donut
played
County.
that.
Donut
I
County was
played
fun.
But
that.
it's
Yeah.
but it's more of an arcade game rather than a story game.
All right, boys,
Okay.
you ready? You ready for Switch?
Sure.
There we go. Buckle up
Anime versus Evil Apocalypse.
right off the bat.
How do you fight yourself?
Is that the game?
No,
Is that
no,
the title?
no. Like, how do you fight yourself? Anime versus Evil. How do you fight yourself? I don't get it.
Oh wow.
Chopper Strike, Tiny Little Farm, Urban Trace Parkour Simulator Pursuit, Zoozle, Dunk Dunk, Echo Generation Midnight Edition, Moonstone Island, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Quest of Memories. That's gotta be a visual novel.
Hold on. What I have to know. Can you repeat some of that?
Mushoku, so Mushoku, Tensei, and then Jobless Reincarnation Quest of Memories.
All right, I found it. So it's based off of. Hold on, let me see here. Based on the light novel series from Japan, so not even manga. Like we're
manga.
Series is about a jobless, overweight man who dies after having a withdrawn life and reincarnates in a fantasy world while keeping his memories of his previous life, determined to enjoy his new life without regrets under the name Rudius Grey Rat.
Rudius?
Sounds like a
Grey
fucking
Rat.
Game of Thrones character.
Yes, it does.
I am looking at the game. Give me a second. Surprisingly,
I am from House Grey Rat.
Surprisingly, not a visual novel. What?
No. I don't believe
That
you.
is surprising, right?
Wait, hold on now. What is this? I'm trying to even figure out what type of genre of game it is.
I does is have to know.
So there's some RPG battles, like where you have the sort of character icons at the bottom, and you're seeing through first person, so you're just kind of seeing the enemy in front of you. I gotta give credit on the enemy design. This giant snake is kind of creepy looking. looking through, some visual novel aspects. It looks like a restaurant, running a restaurant?
What the fuck?
Right.
That's what... Yeah, no, you run a restaurant. There's a restaurant simulator in this.
Wait a minute. If you die and you go to a fantasy world, why you gotta work?
Right.
Because capitalism, you can't escape capitalism.
Even in a fantasy world?
Not even in death.
Goddamn, even more so in a fantasy world.
Okay. All right. Well, I did not expect that. Moving on. Scars of Mars, Cave Digger 2, Darkstar 1, Nintendo Switch Edition, Dice Folk, Egg Console, Tritorn PC 8801, Ever After Falls. Boy, this next game didn't even waste no time. Garten of Bonbon, Garten of Bonbon 2, Garten of Bonbon 3, and Garten of Bonbon 4. All 4
Those
games.
have all been on PC for a while.
Okay.
Oh, was it? Okay, I was there like, fuck it.
I've watched playthroughs. They are...
Well, there's 4 of them.
They look like something made to... God, it wasn't Five Nights at Freddy's.
Sorry,
There was another one where you walked around in first person. Something Baldi's something.
Oh, Baldi's? I remember Baldi's on the
Basics.
Jaguar.
No. This one's Baldi's Basics, and
Okay.
It was like you had to do, I think, school stuff, and it was made as a joke, but like everything on the internet, there is a group of people that genuinely love it and don't necessarily understand the humor. And by those I mean kids. And so like this studio decided like Garden of Ban, and it looks terrible. I've watched someone play through a lot of them. It's because I like his reviews of other stuff, and I guess his viewers on live streams paid for him to play it.
Okay.
And they look bad. Scars of Mars is a RPG game that looks like a lot of menus.
Cool.
Let's see here. Cave Digger 2 is a sort of Minecraft-y looking ass game.
Shocker.
Right.
I gotta say, I do like that it's diesel punk sort of style. So like a very industrial looking. I think those were the ones. I'm looking at new releases on my Deku Deals website, so that's kind of like Shadow of the Erd Tree, which is 53, which is $53.49.
Yeah, it's full price. Yeah.
Price, and you need the original game to play it.
And you need to have beaten a boss that like nobody's beat.
I saw that.
Yeah, my son was like, that he was like, that ain't even a required boss. I was like, yeah, man, they getting people out here.
That's a From Software classic right there.
That's crazy. Like he apparently had beat him, but he was like, yeah, my friends ain't even beat that boss. He was like helping his friends beat him or whatever this weekend.
Oh yeah, like that is totally like a From Software move. They're like, oh, we're gonna require you to beat this boss that you didn't have to beat because fuck you, we're From Software.
Yeah, that is man.
All right, Operation Steel, Pixel World, Unity Chan, Puzzle World, Funny Dogs, Rainbow Ascend, Anime Girls Go Up.
I'm not looking that one up.
I wouldn't. Tavern Talk, the Ouroboros King, Toilet Hero, Train Your Brain, Spot the Difference with Cat Photos, Ylands, Nintendo Switch Edition, Love Elysium, Secret of the Goddess, Mouse and Crane, Pogo Stick Champion, Speedway Turbo Car Racing Challenge, and Tiny Watermelon Match. I'm going to miss when the Switch 2 comes out. Like, look at all these games.
So much crap. There's so much crap.
It is just an ungodly amount of crap. Like, I feel like there were more games out this week on the Nintendo Switch than the entirety of the 32X library.
Jesus.
I mean, what is that? That's like 17, so...
40.
Not surprised.
There were 40 games released for the 32X, yes.
Oof.
One Japanese exclusive.
Yeah, because that thing didn't sell over there.
Nope. There's literally one Japanese exclusive, and you will
Best
never.
way to play Virtua Fighter is
That was a good version until the Saturn came out, and you got the remix
Yeah.
version.
the remix version is the way to play it.
Oh yeah, that one that was packed in at launch was bad. All
I
right.
have 2 copies of that too. I have one without a case and one with.
I want you to know that that's the best cartridge version of Mortal Kombat 2. It's on the 32X. Which is the reason why that and Doom is why I wanted a 32X. So, bought one from Video Game Exchange for $99.99.
I remember Video Game Exchange.
Yep. I bought a lot of games there. I bought Ground Zero Texas for the Sega CD there.
Did you say the big release from Nintendo this week?
Did I said them all. What'd I miss?
Nintendo World Championships?
It's not on this list.
It's oh no, sorry. You know what? I'm reading the wrong month. It's fine. Never mind.
Okay. I was like,
next month.
whoa.
I was gonna say it
Spoiler.
says the 18th, but it's July. Never mind.
Because Luigi's
Spoiler.
Mansion is next week, I believe. So,
Is it really?
yeah. Next
Oh,
Friday.
I want to play that.
Yeah, that's out
You're
next
not gonna
Friday.
you're not gonna fight with me for it because I'm just gonna play the 3DS version. I don't need the remake.
All right, news time. Xbox news up first. Obsidian mentioned November 12th as the release date for Avowed, but then they removed it from their blog.
We're just kidding. Jokes.
Avowed has a third-person option for people who prefer it. I think we talked about these last week, but the new Xbox models, I still can't believe one of them is $599 US. What are you doing?
Brother.
What
are
you
y'all
doing?
doing?
The update for Xbox system for June includes the ability to select a game art for your background. So like when you hover over the tiles, now it changes even if you have a dynamic background. The ability to switch between networks easily, subscription management on your console, and mouse and keyboard support on cloud now available for everyone. Rumor is that Xbox has signed a publishing deal for Panache Digital Games. They have made Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. So this is for their next game, which last week it was the Sefton Hill studio, right? The guys that were Rocksteady.
Yep.
So Microsoft's still out here signing deals for games even though they're dead. So that's crazy. PlayStation News, Astrobot will have 80 levels at launch, but more are coming post-launch via free DLC. Like I said, Game of the Year. It's right there in your face. PlayStation Plus lineup for June 18th. Monster Hunter Rise, Football Manager 2024, Crusader Kings 3, Monster Energy Supercross 6, Far Cry 4, Lego The Hobbit, Lego The Incredibles, and Police Simulator Patrol Officers. Oh shit, that's a free game.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that was on their thing.
Classic PSVR, classics and PSVR games. You're getting Kayak VR, Mirage, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, Ghost Hunter, and Daxter.
Okay.
Daxter, really?
Daxter?
That's the PSP game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time. That's the first time I think it's been playable on a console.
Didn't they make a PS2 part of that?
Nope. It's the only one they didn't do a PS2 port of the main series. They did a PS2 port of Jack and Daxter, The Lost Frontier. They did Secret Agent Clank and Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, but they did not do Daxter.
Huh. That's crazy.
And all the Siphon Filter games got a PS2 fucking port too.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember Twisted Metal. What was it called? Head On.
Yep, Head On.
Yeah.
The PS2 version, I think, is the only one that has the
Twisted Metal Black 2 stuff.
Yeah.
You can literally play Twisted Metal Black 2, like the beta.
The remnants of it, yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man 2 update adds 8 new suits on June 18th.
Cool.
And then Sony finally rolled out the update that lets you join Discord calls directly from your PS5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
About time.
We're finally there. Geoff announced that Summer Games Fest will return in 2025.
We were surprised and worried about that. So
Speaking of Gex, Limited Run Games Showcase is airing June 20th at 11 a.m. That is this week.
Here's all the games you'll be able to play in 4 years.
Dude, so there was an interview with that guy, with Josh, on YouTube the other day that I watched. It was like an hour long. And like he was explaining why stuff takes so long to get out there now. It's a good interview. I know you're not a fan of Limited Run, but Josh has always been super nice to me. I like Josh.
I'm not Josh. Listen, I have issues with the way the company is run, but
I agree.
Two guys that started it, Josh was never the problem.
Well, he's the only one left because the other guy, Doug, is gone.
Doug is gone, and Doug was a problem.
Yeah.
But Josh was never the problem. My problem is that they need to be, when you're working directly. So the way, I'm sorry to get nerdy on you. The way the production works on most video games is that it goes to a third party first. So essentially, when you buy a video game, you're not buying it directly from the person that's getting it manufactured. You're getting it from the publisher who sold it to the tertiary company that you're buying it from. So Amazon, Walmart, etc. With Limited Run, we're removing that extra party in between. So the person that is your client are the people that are looking to buy the games. So instead of me dealing with Walmart if my game is scratched or whatever, I'm going to the publisher, which is Limited Run, which they don't treat them. They want to kind of have the benefits of being like Amazon, like, oh, we're slaves to the people that actually make the products too. But like, so is not a great example now, but so was Deep Silver, so was Sega, all these publishers that make games. Like, Sony isn't putting out the money to make Yakuza disc for that's Sega's part. But I buy the game from a Walmart or an EB or whatever. It's like that isn't an option really with Limited Run. I have to buy it from Limited Run. So you can tell me directly, which they would do. Like if Walmart ordered something, because they would order in bulk, and they didn't get it, they would have a complaint, and the company would have to come back and explain it to them. And I feel like Limited Run doesn't do that, even though they are selling directly to customers. You need to be a little bit more obvious on what's happening. So with the latest example was the 3DO games that were just printed on CDRs, which is very different than a actual printed CD. Okay, they made a decision. You need to explain that decision before you sell the product. And that's been an issue before with like when they did Shiren the Wanderer. They did a PC version. That was a fucking shit show. They've had statues that like have had stuff wrong with them. I'm not asking you to solve the problems. Shit happens. I'm asking you to be more aware that this stuff is happening and be ready for when shit goes wrong. And I've been lucky. I've had good experiences with Limited Run games. For example, when I moved, I didn't realize that using like a forwarding address doesn't include parcels for some fucking reason. It only includes mail under a certain size, which is dumb. I
learned that too.
Mm-hmm. So, I actually lost out on a CD I'd bought for a significant amount of money, which, happens. I just consider it a lost cause and whatever. But I messaged the Limited Run and said, hey, look, hopefully you'll get it returned. And if you do get it returned, would you be able to send me another copy? Because I explained to them the reason. I said, if not, let me know. And if you have an extra copy, I'll buy it from you. And I had really good customer support. They actually emailed me the day it got back to them. And they're like, it's being shipped out. It was for Toe Jam and Earl. And so it's like, I'm not upset with them. I'm upset with the things that have happened outside of them, but that's not under their control. Like, I have an issue with strictly limited games. I've made that very clear. But I didn't have an issue with Special Reserve, which they've worked with, which is where I have my Shadow Warrior 1 and 2 on disc from. So it's like, again, it's not so much Limited Run. It's just like, I feel like they do things to kind of protect themselves, but all they have to do to protect themselves is just be a little bit more honest and outright. I understand things. Like, everybody complains about the time frame. I'm going to joke about the time frame, but I understand that when you're taking open orders, it's a lot different than being able to order the games, 2,000 of a game outright and then just sell those 2,000s, that 2,000 game after. So, like, it's very different from how they started their business. I think it was a move for the better. It did increase the wait time, but look, I think for the most part, it ends up benefiting the customer. I just think that, again, you need to, if things are being pushed back, especially if it's out of your control, let the customer know. Just let the customer know. That goes a long way. Are some people going to be pissed? Yeah, some people are going to be pissed anyways. But if you don't take the time and effort to do the right thing, you're just pissing everybody off. And I think that's my biggest issue with them, is that, like, they do really good work sometimes, and when things sort of fall through the cracks, instead of saying, look, this happened, but which is what they should do, they go, we didn't think it would be a problem. Well, it's a problem. And I say that from somebody who backed System Shock remake, and all my stuff is coming from Limited Run apparently. But Night Dive was very upfront, like, hey, we fucked up. We don't know when this is coming. And I appreciated that more than when they were like, we fucking are canceling it because we fucked up. They really said, look, we're going to go back to the drawing board and make the game we promised. So it's just, again, a little bit more communication. I'm spinning off right now, but the last 3DS game that was physically made was the Atui collection, which Limited Run had a hand in. Look at how Atui goes and handles their customer support. Don't do that, because they took money for they took money for Chicken Wiggle, which was the original name, which was a 3DS game, to port it to the Switch. That game is still not out. Has changed its name, changed its graphics, which both things nobody asked for. He's published like 3 or 4 games in the interim without publishing this fucking game.
It's George R.R. Martin of fucking video games.
It was supposed to come out this month, and the day it was supposed to come out, they delayed it again. So, like, that's the type of thing that I feel like when Limited Run is kind of not doing its best job, they're doing stuff like that. I don't think it's malicious. I've never gone that far to think it's malicious. I just think it's shit happens. Like, I understand people work for this company, and I understand it's people that sort of care about their product, but it's hard to believe that if you don't sort of put the effort in. There, I've said my piece.
All right. Moving on.
You know what? Just one more positive about them. It's a terrible game, and I think it's one of the stupidest fucking things ever. But go look at the love and care put into that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties reissue. That's the type of stuff that I think earns you more kudos if you did that more often. Not for shit games like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but the Felix collection that just came out. Does it feel like it's that caliber, or does it feel like it's just a money?
Dude, that game there's nothing in it. There's just like 3 ROMs.
Right. So that's the reason why I'm saying, like, it's stuff like that kind of puts you in a bad scenario when I know you have the quality. I'm not even asking for, like, maybe there is no detail in the design of these games, but, like, at least do a little bit of effort and, like, explain why Felix was important at one point, because no one nowadays knows who fucking Felix is. If you're under a certain age group, nobody gives a shit.
No.
Yeah.
Him and Heathcliff, they're lost cats.
Yeah, because right. Garfield's fat ass eclipsed them both.
Yeah, fucker just took all the mind share.
Lasagna right to the thighs. Anyways.
All right. THQ Nordic says they'll be at Gamescom this year with 5 games. 2 of them are unannounced. Suda says he wants
And they've been canceled. And the studios have been closed.
Suda51 says he wants to bring more of Grasshopper's back catalog to current gen. I guess there's some stuff out there. Maybe a Killer 7.
I'm looking up. I just want to see is there anything that you can think of?
Killer 7 is the only one that hasn't been that I can think of, because No More Heroes stuff all came. They're doing the Shadows of the Damned, which is still playable on Series X because it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
What's that? That Case game came out on the Switch.
Silver Case.
Silver Case came out on Switch.
That's both of them. Okay, so I have a couple. Because No More Heroes is out. Shadows of the Damned is out. Cinemora is out. The Lollipop Chainsaw is coming, which I know they don't really have a hand in, but
Make that that Connect game, but there's no more Connect.
The
baseball game
for that right now. Diabolical Pitch.
Yeah.
I would love Flower, Sun, and Rain to come back, because that's a weird ass point and click game that was for PS2 and DS, and that is an expensive fucking game now.
Wouldn't be shocked to see that on Nintendo Switch.
Contact is a really weird RPG. That's a grasshopper.
I was gonna say, you pretty much don't have to say the word weird when you talk about grasshopper games. It's just in front.
Yeah, I know. Just that one's so bizarre because I don't know how you do it, because you kind of need both screens. The other built around the DS.
The other thing I think about when people say this is like my brother in Christ. We are 4 years into this generation. There's probably 2 to 3 left. If you gonna do something, might be time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 Shining Soul games for the GBA. Here's one that I want, that I'm sure like 4 other people want. Michigan Report from Hell.
Yeah, you and 4 other dudes.
Have you not seen that game?
I have. I know what it is.
Oh, it's so fucking wild. The Samurai Champloo game would be cool too.
That was
okay.
It was fine.
The PS2 one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
They did oh, that's right. They did one of the Fatal Frame. They co-developed with Tecmo and Nintendo one of the Fatal Frame games. 2
of those have made it out.
Yeah, I don't think it was this one. Mask of the Lunar Eclipse?
Yeah, that's out.
Okay, well that was one of theirs, so that's another one that's gone. So yeah, I mean, like Liberation Maiden, which was one of the
oh, I remember that game.
With 3DS, like they had those mini projects.
Yeah.
What was that part of? The Guild series.
I think I played Liberation Maiden at one point.
Killer is Dead. I think that's backwards compatible.
Yeah, it's backwards compatible. You can still play that game.
Black Knight Sword, I'm not familiar with at
all. That
all.
game it's like one of those puppet games where like the character moves funky. Like what's that Genesis game? I know you're gonna know it.
You're talking the one that has that awful background.
What's the guy's name?
Not Dynamite Heady.
Not Dynamite Heady.
Give me a second. Hold on.
I want to say his name now because his name is so bad.
He has a whip, right?
Yeah, the whip. What's that game? It starts with the E, right?
Man, don't throw letters out. I don't remember. Give me a second.
What do you Google for that?
I don't even know. That's what. Give me a second.
Come on. Ernest Evans.
Ernest Evans. Oh my God. Okay,
I can't believe I pulled that out of my ass. I cannot believe I pulled that out of my ass.
Ernest Evans. Yeah, that was not the game I was thinking of. Or is it? Is that the one that's got the weird? Give me a second. I gotta look up screenshots now.
Oh man, my brain is getting old. I had to pull Ernest Evans out, man. Whew. It's made by Wolf Team.
Oh no, Ernest Evans is not the game I was thinking of. But yes, as soon as you say that, like the motion, I understand completely. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Knight. Black Knight was like that.
The marionette animation style.
Yeah, there's a couple games like that on TurboGrafx as well.
I think it's a TurboGrafx one I'm thinking of. That's
It's the like Kabuki Warrior game. Man.
God, now I got to think of the.
We got to stop going off on these, trying to remember these fucking games.
Fucking game. Man, there's just not enough space. Okay, I'm gonna put myself on mute. Why?
All right, I'm gonna move on to the Epic database leak for the Epic Game Store, which included unannounced games like The Last of Us 2, PC port, Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 9 remake, Atlas from Bandai, and Turok from Saber Interactive. What?
Yeah, that one weirded me out.
Like, what? Man, I'm sorry, but anytime you mention Saber Interactive, you know what? You will never guess what the first game that comes to mind is for me.
unreleased DLC for Knights of the Old Republic.
No, this was a full released game.
Well, that was the last one that I could think of.
Time Shift.
Oh, I remember. Oh, that was them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that game good? Because
No.
I've only ever seen gray screenshots of it.
No. So the 360
I wanted
era
it to be.
had that weird like period of time where you got shit like, what was the Pimple game where you changed the terrain?
That was called. Oh no, hold on, I got it.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh yeah, because it was LucasArts.
yeah, LucasArts made that game.
Oh no, Ken, you can't keep doing this to me. I'm playing the other game right now.
But
it
was also in the like Frontlines, Fuel of War,
Fracture. Oh, thank God.
Frontlines, Time Shift.
Hold on, what was the other one that I'm thinking of right now? It was gravity-based Gears of War.
Gravity-based Gears of
War. Was that Binary? No, that wasn't Binary.
No. It's
gravity-based Gears of War. I remember the Japanese Gears of War, Quantum Theory.
I remember Quantum Theory is much more interesting because it's fucking weird.
It is a very weird-ass game. Gravity-based Gears.
Inversion.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Inversion.
Like, all of these games were 360 games, and they all kind of bleed in my brain together.
Yeah, generic brown.
Yes.
With a little bit of color.
The kill switch template. Anyway, Gearbox is now officially owned by Take-Two, so that deal is won through. Jurassic Park Survival Details takes place one day after the 1993 film. Iconic and new locations. Like, where else are you going to go? It's one fucking island. New dinosaurs, new characters.
Is that a horror game?
It's a survival game. It's a tree puncher game.
Honest. I'm okay with that as long as like the bird cage is terrifying.
This is the only game. This is the only thing that'll get me to play a survival game. Is this also a day after the 1993 film? What did somebody go there, or like if you remember the Telltale game actually was the whole point of that was to get Nedry's can, right?
Oh,
man, I didn't play that too.
I didn't play that one.
Yeah, that's literally the plot. Is a girl goes to get that Barbasol can.
I'm sure it is.
And I thought it had to be like 48 hours because wasn't the Barbasol can only good for like 48 hours? So she had to be there like the day after.
Look, all I'm gonna say is, and I know this is terrible, but like Jurassic Park 1 is great. 2 can fuck off. It was cool when I was a kid, but I don't care now. 3 is really good.
Well, 2 is bad because Michael Crichton didn't even want to write a sequel. Steven Spielberg then was like, "Oh my God, this movie did gangbusters. We need to make a sequel," and they made him do that. Like the
book is really good.
The Lost World. The book is, but the movie is not. But he wasn't even a fan of the movie.
I like the second
so
movie.
much stuff.
Really? Yes, it's changed. Like it's changed from the book. I read the book first. So, like, before I even went and saw it, I read the book. It's just a fucking popcorn movie with dinosaurs eating people. It's fine. I don't think that deeply about it.
Younger, like Anthony, I think when I was younger it was cool, but like now looking at it,
I've never subscribed to the when I become adult things get bad stuff. That's just never been me. Like if I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it.
Fog.
Got you.
The Fog.
Which one?
Birdcage. No.
Oh, you're not talking about the John Carpenter movie. Okay.
No. The Fog in the birdcage sequence in 3.
Oh, it's great. Where the thing comes walking across the bridge. That was a great scene.
Oh man, and like just the pterodactyls, whatever there are, pterodons, whatever you want to call them, that can come out of like anywhere because fucking everything's goddamn foggy. I'm like, yeah, that's a horror sequence.
Also,
man, three gets a bad rep because fucking 2 is kind of garbaggio in comparison to 1, but 3 is probably the second best Jurassic movie.
It's also like if you go back and look at it, it's also a short movie. It like gets to its point really fast.
Yeah, I mean you're on the island and everything's already gone to shit, so
Yeah, it's only like an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. Like it's a real fast-paced movie, and also you will never not hear that phone ringing.
Yep, and the best part is you get to watch dinosaurs fight. Hey, something for everybody.
Yoshimi Yasuda says that he brought back Lollipop Chainsaw because he's been thinking about the future of the game, of the series. But it looks like they're going to make another one. I didn't watch the trailer. Did it look good? I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that
I thought
first
it did.
game. I did.
So it was
Is
the
it
trailer
woke?
footage that they showed was the edited version, because I guess this whole repop thing is they lessen the violence and like instead are adding like, crazy special effects kind of stuff to it, but it's not the violence of the original one. So that's what the repop brand is, but I guess the original violence is still in the game. So the trailer focused on the kind of revamped version, but it looked good. I mean, I'm gonna get it. I like that game.
Are they gonna woke it?
Well,
No, I'm just
that's the question.
Just kidding. The trophies for Beyond Good and Evil 20th anniversary showed up on PlayStation. So yeah.
Oh, guess that's coming.
I mean, it's been coming for a long time. It's probably just sitting in a vault somewhere.
Yeah.
What else we got on here? Final Fantasy Tactics remaster is apparently real, according to Jason Schreier. Speaking of sumo, they're laying off 15% of its people across the group in Canada, UK, Poland, Czech Republic, and India. And they're shutting down Timber Games. We got some numbers here. Resident Evil Village has now sold 10 million copies. Call to the Lamb has sold 4 million. Agalos has sold more than 100K. Elden Ring has surpassed 25 million copies. Jesus Christ.
That is just, man.
And Sea of Thieves was the best-selling game in US, Canada, and EU on PlayStation 5.
What?
That's crazy. I want you to know that the internet does not equate to real life.
It does not.
What do we got here? Ubisoft, a bunch of announcements for release dates. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is now 2026.
Man, that just pissed me off.
Like,
when
what
they
are we
showed that.
even doing at this point? Like,
Exactly. Like, y'all went dark with it and delayed it and everything, and then you're gonna stand on stage and talk about, well, this is the 35th anniversary, and we prepared this so you could see something from this game, and show me a fucking candle and rewind? What? Nah, man.
that game was
What are we
supposed to
doing?
be out January of this year, and
Yeah.
now it's been delayed 2 years.
Like what? Like you said, what are we doing? Like what? What are we doing? Jesus.
I don't know. Crew Motorfest, the Chase Squad launches this November. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora DLC, the Skybreaker launches July 16th. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown gets a free content update. Story DLC Mask of Darkness launches this September. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Destiny 2, codename Frontiers, announced for 2025. Signy All Guns Blazing launches August 6th. What the fuck? I watched the trailer for this game
My
this
friend
weekend.
is so excited for that.
What is it?
It's one of them. What is it called? Shmups? Those bullet hell things?
Oh, that's
One
my
of those.
jam. What the fuck?
Yeah, you will love it. Like, yeah, I'm surprised you ain't know about it. Like, he is so amped for it. Like, 'cause it was announced a while ago.
Like, I watched the trailer for it this weekend and I was confused because there's like a
Mm-hmm.
weird
It's one of
horny
those.
thing going on in the beginning, but then like I was like, man, that looks like my jam. What else we got here? Man, I don't know what half these games are. Flintlock Siege of Dawn launches July 18th. Dragon Age: The Veilguard launches this fall, which that gameplay trailer's out. It looks fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It looks good.
Diablo 4: Vessel of Hatred launches October 8th.
Yep, I want that.
I mean, I got so many release dates here, like Age of Mythology, September 4th, World of Warcraft, August 26th, Flight Simulators, November 19th, South of Midnight is 2025. There's a lot of games coming out. Holy shit. Starfield DLC this year, Stalker 2, September 5th, We got all these from the Xbox show, so I don't need to go through all these. What else we got here? I think that's it. Yacht Club Games had their little presentation this week where they're bringing, finally, Shovel Knight Dig to Xbox. They're also bringing, maybe Anthony knows more about this, Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX.
No idea.
Which is an updated version with 20 playable characters, new features, full stereoscopic 3D, online multiplayer, and more.
Okay, what is Shovel Knight? I never actually, like, I've seen that nigga on everything.
Mega Man.
Whoa.
Oh, it's Mega Man.
Whoa.
Okay, what?
You've never played Shovel Knight.
Nah, man, I ain't never played Shovel Knight. Add it to the list. We
reviewed that game 3 times. You want to know what the score was every time?
What?
10.
10? Damn. Okay. All right.
We reviewed it on...
What was neat about that was that at one point, and I guess it still is, I just don't know if they've locked them out since or whatever, but I don't know if the 3DS version had any specific bosses, but on Xbox you fought the Battletoads, and in PS4 you fought Kratos.
Mm-hmm. Shovel Knight.
Awesome.
Shovel Knight is one of the best one of those games in the past 15 years. By a country mile. Also, this is the last time they are touching this game, which we joke about this, like, Shovel Knight has literally been in development, like, updates, spin-offs for what now, 10 years?
Oh, jeez.
He's appeared in, like, every indie game out there, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I know. 'Cause I've never played the game, but I've seen him in everything. Like, Shovel Knight is always a guest character and stuff.
And also, they've announced they're working on a new Shovel Knight, which a lot of people are thinking it's going to be like 3D this time.
Mega Man Legend style, eh?
No, actually good.
This guy.
Die.
This guy.
All right, just a few tweets, and I got some emails too. So let me pull up the emails first.
Okay, it's driving me nuts, Ken. Maybe you can help me on this. It was a 16-bit game,
okay.
And for some reason I thought it was the same game, but it wasn't. It's the one where, depending if your character moves left and right, like if he moves left, the parallax scrolling moves with him, because the idea was to try to make it look 3D. It was a platformer. I think it was on TurboGrafx and Genesis, but maybe it was just one of those two. And it's driving me nuts because it had a very unique style, and I'm not saying it's good. It's just...
Do you have, like, any other, like, what's the character look like?
It's just a guy. Like, it's just a guy. There's spiked platforms and stuff. Like, it's very generic. It was just the fact that the parallax scrolling, if you moved left or right, it always kept shifting back and forth. So if you moved a little bit to the left and then a little bit to the right, it could almost make you sick because it would shift so wildly.
Is this a Euro platformer?
No, this is like a standard sort of action platformer game. I'm pretty sure it's Japanese.
Oh, because there was one like that on Commodore with this like dude with sunglasses, but I don't remember the name of it.
I don't know if Commodore's too. The art style wouldn't fit. This was a very dark looking game.
I'm not talking about Commodore 64. I'm talking about like
no, but even Amiga. I don't think it's. I don't know. Amiga title.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I would have sworn, and it's not Keith Courage, but I would have sworn it's something like blank in the blank.
Man, I don't know.
Fuck me, man. It's driving me nuts. And I've looked up like parable worst parallax scrolling. Like, wait, where the fuck?
I don't know.
I'm usually better at this. What's happened today?
Yeah, you like the guy.
Welcome to old age. This stuff starts leaving your brain. I'm still amazed I pulled Ernest Evans out of my ass.
I can't remember shit anymore. Like, I always am in awe of y'all. Man.
I bet I know the game if you said it, but I can't for the life of me think of what it is. I got a game in my head, but I don't think it was on the Genesis, and I thought it was that Euro platformer, but I might be wrong because it had this.
If you know anything about that, like let me know because like
They just re-released it on. Oh, hold on, I will give you the game if I can pull it up. It might not be the game, but I do remember this one having some weird scrolling. I need to search more because they've done a ton of these. Qbyte just re-released this. Fuck. Wasn't that one? No. This is making for great radio here.
Definitely. Like, oh man, this is good. Oh, they're looking for something.
Well, you should vamp, Terrence, while I'm trying to figure out what this is.
Oh, okay. Well, so that Wayfinders game,
Jim Power, The Lost Dimension. Was that it?
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm gonna type it in. It's probably gonna be right.
That's the one I was thinking of.
That's the fucking one. God damn it. Jim Power, The Lost Dimension.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Jim Power, The Lost Dimension. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of that had the weird scrolling.
And it's
Jim.
Okay. So sorry. Yeah, it was a Genesis game, and it was also on Super Nintendo. Okay, now that'd be explaining why I can't find it. Fucking Christ, man. That pissed me off.
All right,
Jim,
I got
fuck
two
you,
today.
Jim.
I got
Get
two
Jim,
today.
motherfucker.
All right, now my brain is officially tapped, so I'm just going to read emails. Adam writes in, his email's just called Terminator Resistance. He says, damn, I finally picked it up on your guys' recommendation, and oh wow, yes, you were 100% right. Without spoilers, I must say this is canon. Please, anyone that likes the first two movies, you need to play this. Thanks again for the recommendation.
Yeah.
It's a decent Far Cry clone.
Whoa, holy wall of text. Okay.
Holy wall of text.
You know what? I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take a screenshot of this email I just got, and I want you to understand how hard it is for me to read that.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to try. Daryl, this is a mess, but I love you. Hey, Gaming Gods. Just want to comment on the events of Sony State and Play and other shows. I'm a little concerned with the state of games coming out for most platforms and from most publishers. So, Daryl, I love you. Put some breaks in, because this is one of the biggest fucking paragraphs. Originality seems to be mostly dead, and if there are original games, it's usually a multiplayer game or a game as a service game. Ubisoft had more of the same with Assassin's Creed Shadows, Prince of Persia. Listen, we're just getting Prince of Persia again. I'm not going to complain about that. Anno, I'm sure. I'm just saying Anno. I don't know if that's the correct number.
Yeah, 117. Yeah. That's
Is
right.
it 117, really?
Yeah.
Are we going to, like, really ancient times, then?
I don't know about Anno.
Like Rome.
Okay. Usually it's like the year it takes place.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in Roman times.
And another game as service in X Defiant. Even Star Wars Outlaws might be a bit derivative of other Star Wars games. Sony, Astrobot sequel. Listen, Daryl.
Astrobot is the GOAT.
Astrobot is great. Don't fuck with me. Monster Hunter Wilds sequel. Fair enough, I'm not a huge fan. Silent Hill 2 remake. That looks bad. That's me adding in. Dynasty Warriors Origins sequel, prequel, whatever. I mean, listen, we haven't had Dynasty Warriors. Like, give it a pass. Path of Exile 2 sequel. Until Dawn remaster that no one was asking for, but okay. Concord and Marvel Rivals are shitty games as a service game. Only Infinity Nikki looks terrible, and Where Winds Meet are relatively original. Xbox fared a little better, but more of the same with COD 6 sequel. Look, they just bought that, so I'll give them some leeway on that. That's kind of why they bought Activision. One of the two reasons, anyways. Doom Dark Ages sequel, prequel. State of Decay 3 sequel. Dragon Age Veilguard third-party sequel. Perfect Dark sequel. I don't know about that one. Perfect Dark sounds like it's a reboot.
Dude, Perfect Dark, the last Perfect Dark game came out 20 fucking years ago. Come on.
But, yeah, anyways. Age of Mythology remake, Fable sequel. Again, I think that's a reboot. Not to be pedantic, but
It
you would hope
feels
they're
like a
trying for
reboot.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stalker 2 sequel. Look, again, speaking of games that came out like 20 years ago, the original Stalker is that old. Gears E-Day sequel, prequel, and a lot of DLCs for their games, Diablo 4, Fallout 76, Starfield. But they did show some new IPs such as South of Midnight, Flintlock, Avowed, Indiana Jones. That's not really a new IP. Atomfall, Expedition 33, Wu Chang, Mixtape, Winterborough, but not a lot else new.
That's a fucking lot.
That was a lot.
That's a lot of new shit.
For an industry that's been starving for it. But anyways, lastly, Nintendo's the worst. I'm gonna say this through gritted teeth. Most everything they have announced so far has been remasters. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but
Mario
it's the end of life of Switch. We knew this was coming.
Finish. Super Mario RPG, Nintendo World Champion NES Edition. I think that's a little more than I think we have an idea of. The problem is that I'm still not really sure what that game is. Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 2 and lots of other third-party sequels, remasters, and ports. Yeah, so going back to what Ken said, Nintendo kind of always does this when they're kind of not sure if they want to put out something new. You saw that a lot with Wii U, right? Like, we had two of the best Zelda games, arguably, get remasters.
Which is probably going to happen again.
Yeah. But, and we saw that kind of, right after they had sort of dropped their big titles for the Switch launch, they, hey, it's Donkey Kong. Hey, it's New Super Mario Bros. U. Hey, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the game you definitely bought again. So, and some of these games, at least with this particular scenario, Paper Mario was an expensive game. So, putting out a remaster is probably a good call. Luigi's Mansion 2, I'm not really fully understanding of. Super Mario RPG was the same thing, though, where it was a super expensive game. I'm still not sure what Nintendo World Championship NES Edition is, but regardless. When was the last original IP Nintendo has released? ARMS would be the newest out of the ones that you're listing, because the next one is Splatoon. ARMS is newer. Yeah, what is the newest Nintendo IP? But I mean, you could go back and kind of argue that with even Nintendo 64. Was there a new Nintendo IP on that console?
Mario Party.
That's a stretch, but okay.
I mean, that's the best I got.
Yeah, and then they did a lot on GameCube, but that was kind of a mess for Nintendo. And then because that had custom Robo. If you're
Pikmin.
in the UK, you got Doshin the Giant. Pikmin is one of the ones that survived. They tried with Chibi Robo, no one bought those. So then the Wii, the Wii had all your sort of Wii titles, but outside of that, did any of those Nintendo properties stick from the Wii?
I don't even remember other than Wii Sports.
I'm looking, hold on. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, I guess.
They're still making those, so...
Yeah, but it's Sega that makes those, right? So,
yeah, they're still coming out, so...
I'm doing a quick look here, and I'm not seeing a whole hell of a lot.
Nintendo doesn't do a lot of new IP. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
But Punch-Out got a remake on the Wii.
That game's kind of old.
Yeah. So to me, it's I think they do a better service of at least keeping most of their IPs. Obviously, Mario and Zelda take a lot of center stage when it comes to that. But they do a better job of keeping their IPs relevant. So for them to go back to the well, I'm not as upset about them not making new IPs, because the new Mario game is going to play different than the last Mario game. I think that was the reason why all of us kind of got upset with New Super Mario Brothers at a certain point, was that it was just constantly the same sort of thing, which is why Mario Maker was such a breath of fresh air. And so I'm not too concerned about Nintendo not putting out new IPs, as long as they kind of keep the IPs they have. Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem was not a seller over here, then became a seller. Xenoblade, fuck, they didn't even want to release it in America originally for the Wii. That's probably their big one from the Wii era, was Xenoblade, which is theirs. So, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like, they do a pretty good job of keeping most of their stuff alive. You know, you're always going to find someone, an F-Zero fan, a Chibi Robo fan, you know, that are like a little bit more hurting for content. But, you know, I'm less upset with them than, say, Xbox, who now has a fuck ton of IPs and aren't doing shit with half of them. Same with Sony. You know, they just reissued the first Sly game. Does everybody remember they were going to make a Sly movie before the Ratchet and Clank one failed?
I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and for some reason Sly wasn't going to be voiced by the original actor, but Murray and Bentley were going to be voiced by the same people that did the voice in the games. I don't know, fucking weird shit. Anyways, continue on. Those are old and also multiplayer games. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, ARMS, no one, I don't think, is playing anymore. Splatoon, they at least update. You know, they have new content for. I don't know the last ARMS expansion, but I think
I don't know that they're
probably closer to 2017.
Yeah, that nobody cares about ARMS.
They also seem to mine the same franchises like Mario, Yoshi, and Zelda. No. They mine Kirby.
Poor Kirby.
Do they have something? Poor Kirby. Heck, the 3D I'm going to correct that for you. Iterations of Zelda and Mario are almost 30 years old now. Yes, but Mario Odyssey does not play like Mario 64. Mario 64 does not play like Sunshine. Sunshine does not play like Galaxy. Like 3D Land, 3D World do not play like any of those. They do not play like New Super Mario Brothers. Yes, there is some collective sort of feel to those games, but they are not the same game. And that is the thing that I think you have to think about. Like Halo, before 4343 got a hold of it and started fucking with the system, played fairly similar. So the content you were doing was telling more story, doing better graphics, and then 343 got a hold of it and tried to make it feel different. But like, that is a multiplayer game. You don't want to change most of the aspects of it, and they did, and that ultimately was a problem. With a single player game like Mario or Zelda, I think there's importance to evolving, and I think you see that in Zelda. Yoshi's in a weird spot where they've been doing a lot of stuff with Feel Good. I think it's the company's name. Good Feel is the company name. And so, like, you know, you had Woolly World, and then you had Crafted World. So I understand maybe those are feeling a little too similar, but like the last two Zelda games feel like none of the other games feel like those in the series. And I'm okay with people being kind of bored with this setup already, but it's just one of those things where it's like they do feel different. They do feel like they take evolutions. Even Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which use a lot of the same assets, feel like fundamentally different games because of that timer in Majora's Mask. You know, Wind Waker feels different from both of those. Twilight Princess was something that everybody wanted. I think that arguably feels the most like Ocarina of Time. And then they did Skyward Sword, which felt like nothing else in the series and didn't feel good until it was on Switch. So like, I think it's dependent on what they're doing with the franchise. I mean, this goes for Sony and Microsoft as well. I just think that like they feed us enough, like Nintendo feeds the audience enough that they're willing to accept change. And like Microsoft and Sony have been sitting on IPs that haven't been used in a decade, and they're gonna fucking fuck with it, Perfect Dark style, and make it feel too different from what people want. I don't know. Maybe that's just me defending Nintendo too much, but I like their games because they do feel frequently different enough while still feeling somewhat based on the property. Like even Hyrule Warriors has a lot of Zelda DNA in it, but it's ultimately a Musou game. So, Let me see. They really need new IPs in order to even make sequels down the road. I mean, those games are fun, but one every 5 years is getting a little old and just more of the same. It seems the only originality seems to be with smaller developers on all consoles, and to me it seems that those seem to be the most interesting. The industry needs a bit of a shakeup. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I think also when you're developing something that's $1 million, you kind of need to guarantee yourself some return rather than an independent developer who is just trying to make their money back almost so they can live. I think there's a bit of a difference there in what we put in. But at the same time, like, who knew if Breath of the Wild is kind of like still stunningly like it's the best selling Zelda game of all time. Yet it's arguably the most different out of all of them. There's no dungeons. I'm just talking to silence.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Okay. I don't know. Like, to me, it's just. What do you want from Nintendo? I think a big part of this, and this kind of reason why I'm always like, I would love a new IPs, but like, if you do a new IP and it's a lot like another IP, then why aren't you just doing that IP?
I don't necessarily think new IP is always the right answer. I think, like you said, it's about changing the formula. Like,
in a good way.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like
way.
Zelda without dungeons, but fuck, I love it. You know, I didn't think I would enjoy an open world Mario game, but Bowser's Fury is the bomb.
Oh my god, Bowser's Fury is so good.
Like, and it's nothing like Mario 64. It's nothing like Sunshine. I love Sunshine. I think Sunshine is completely unique, and nobody's ever done anything like that since.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest thing...
Like the music.
Oh, the music in Sunshine is fantastic.
Sunshine's so good. But the closest thing to Sunshine is Splatoon. In some way.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, and it's not even, like...
It's not even the same sort of concept. It's all about liquid physics. So...
Like, as long as you're doing something different, I think that's why we got tired of Halo. Like, they tried to change it, but they didn't change it in a way that made Halo better.
They just changed it. It just felt like change for change's sake. And that's kind of what my fear is with Perfect Dark. But if you want a good example from somebody that's not Nintendo, and I'll be curious to see the new games in the series, but look at the last 3 Tomb Raider games. That trilogy is fantastic.
Yes, it's very good.
So, like, it's you know, it still feels like a Tomb Raider game, but it's very different from the originals, which I've only recently played. I was somewhat familiar with the PS2 games, but yeah. Listen, I didn't.
Hey, Crystal Dynamics has redone that twice. Like, give them credit. They did a trilogy on PS2, 360 era. And then they just did this new trilogy.
And so it's stuff like that where it's like, you know, and some games are more obviously open to kind of constantly changing. I think Ratchet & Clank's a great example. You can kind of keep putting those characters into different scenarios and give them new guns that require like parts of the new tech to use. So you can put more stuff on screen and shit like that. Like the Pixelator from the PS4 game that turns everybody into like 3D voxels or whatever. That was a neat aspect. I don't think you could pull that off on PS2 and have it look and feel as good. So it really depends, but I think it's knowing kind of what you can do with the series. I think that's the reason why, like, Kirby, not making a joke here, but Kirby's very malleable. So that's the reason why they end up using him sort of as like testing for different concepts. Because he kind of can just do anything. So Kirby is now a golf ball. Sure, fuck it, why not? Kirby's in a puzzle game. All right, sure, because he doesn't. Yeah. His identity is about change, so it's okay. So like they can do certain things to test with him to see what they can get away with. Because ultimately, Kirby games aren't the best-selling games on the face of the planet, anyways. But they do well enough that it's a good way to tell what people like and don't like. So like I think part of it is like I love new IPs because it's always exciting to get something that's fresh and new. I think the problem is that and I use a music example. When LCD Sound System did a big concert, it was at God, what's the New York basketball place?
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square
Yeah,
Garden?
Madison Square Garden. They did like 4 nights, sold out, and they said it was the last performances they were ever doing. And there's some shitty stuff behind the scenes that I won't get into, but ultimately the guy who was the sort of main writer and sort of the brain behind LCD Sound System wanted to make music again because he was running a label and he had kids, and his whole thing was like, I can't do all that and be a rock star sort of thing. So I'm calling it quits. But when he went to go back and make music, the people he wanted to make music with were the same people that were his band in LCD Sound System. So he just kind of said, why would I call this anything else? It's basically the same thing. So like, that's how I kind of feel about video games. Like, yeah, new properties are great and I love them, but if you're going to make something that, and there's only so many ideas to go around, it's always some sort of random indie person that makes the new thing, in my opinion, which, that's PUBG, right? PlayerUnknown had a new sort of idea and then people copied it, but like his project was very low key at first. DayZ was another thing that was just a mod at first. Dear Esther, the first sort of big walking sim that from the Chinese room, no less, was its own thing at first, and it was a mod based on Half-Life 2. These are smaller teams. They can be a little bit more creative because they don't have to worry about returns. It's just for passion. So, when you're trying to make money, there's only so many things you can do, which is all trend chasing to some extent. If you're going to just make a first-person shooter and it's going to be military men and your Xbox and you own the Call of Duty franchise, why would it be called anything else? Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about a lot of this, is that, like, I'm sure Microsoft wants their sort of sword and sorcery RPG, but they own the Fable license. So why not just make a Fable game? And I understand Fable has certain expectations with it, but is it easier to just bring those expectations into the thing you're making? Or is it harder to keep people from thinking that this should have just been a Fable game? I think that's a thing that they do think about when they're making stuff. I think the best example, though, like of a bad scenario where that happened is, like, look at Prey, which took the IP from a game that has nothing to do with it, probably did a disservice to what that game was, because originally it was going to be called Neuroshock, which is more accurate to what the game is. And it's like, it has nothing to do, nothing to do with the name Prey. They just did it because it was an IP, and it has nothing that's, I think, an example of, like, a new IP would have been a better idea. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I'll continue. This still has an email. I've been going off. The industry needs a bit more shakeup. By the way, that Geoff, I'm saying it that way, that it's spelled like Jeff spells his name. Show on Friday was a complete yawn fest. Can either of you guys confirm that? Was it a yawn fest?
It was.
Yep.
It was not great. Yeah.
Oof. I didn't watch it, so that tells you how
It was 2 hours long too. Like, I could have watched a movie.
How many trailers was there?
It was a lot of trailers, but it was also a lot of
Okay.
commercials.
Oh.
A
Isn't
lot
that what
of
those?
commercials.
Isn't that what the trailers are? Or just commercials?
Well,
What the
there
fuck
were.
is this?
I'm not kidding you when I tell you there was a difference between the trailers and commercials in this.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
All
but
right.
like the way he did it, the segue pissed you off because he would go straight from a trailer into something else where you think it's like gameplay or something, but it's a fucking commercial where they're trying to sell you something. It's like, fuck you, Jeff. Like, ugh.
And then there was
Go
like a
ahead.
6-minute commercial at the end for some mobile game with Kim Jong.
Yes. Yep.
Oof.
And Thor. Thor was in there too. It's
Chris Hemsworth.
Ash something. Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, I can't think of what it is. My son actually plays that game. But yeah, that commercial was the ending. Like it was crazy.
Not much
Anyway, go
seemed
ahead.
to get excited about, except maybe the Blumhouse brand games, but not much was revealed there. Any
I,
thoughts on that? I didn't watch any
the
of the
Blumhouse
Blumhouse
stuff looks cool. I'm sure there'll be cool games, but yeah, Jeff's show was. I would be struggling outside of nothing, honestly, that I got excited about.
I was about to say the same thing. I don't think there was anything that we came away with that
I
anybody
mean,
was
there's
really
good
excited
games in
about.
there, but I already knew about them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
right. It wasn't anything that we hadn't known about. So
and to be fair,
yeah,
he did say that. So
he did.
I can't, I can't kill the messenger for him hyping it up because he was like, yeah, this is just some shit you've seen before. So
And then just to finish this off, but Xbox at least had a good mix of new IPs and sequels. Maybe next year will be better. Just quit with the remasters, remakes, sequels, and ports. Thank you.
I mean,
Daryl St. Louis.
you could say that, but like those things sell like crazy. So
Well, I'm also going to tell you right now, and this is a thing that I kind of noticed with, and it's not 1-to-1. It's a flawed system because people are in charge. But sometimes those remasters and ports, remakes, help keep something else afloat. Sometimes they're kind of what's like a layup in terms of business. If you look at music, for example, like labels will put out like constant remasters of certain people, but that's to sort of make money while they're trying to promote something newer. So like, yeah, I understand it because it's kind of annoying when everybody's doing remasters. Like, to me, again, I don't understand the whole Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. First of all, it had a subtitle originally, so that's just weird to get rid of that subtitle and just call it Luigi's Mansion 2, especially when Luigi's Mansion 1 isn't on Switch. So it's not like we're trying to get the whole series on Switch, which the only series that's like that, except for like the spin-off, is Pikmin. Pikmin's the only series where all 4 games are on the console.
yeah,
But it is to help keep something else afloat sometimes. So don't try to look at it somewhat that way too. Is like, hey, we can't do the new projects, without making money during the time. So like this thing will help us make more money in the interim while we're working on the other thing. It's for the amount of effort we have to put in to do the stuff. That's the reason why I think everybody's pissed that Nintendo hasn't done the Zelda stuff.
yeah. Like, why not just do that at this point?
Don't worry, guys. They put out that stupid Game & Watch thing instead for the anniversary.
I still can't believe we got Mario versus Donkey Kong remaster before we got fucking Wind Waker.
That is crazy.
That one to me makes no goddamn sense. I'm not upset about it. It's a great game. It's great.
I will promise you,
like shit.
I would almost promise you that game is the worst selling first party game from Nintendo.
Let's see.
Like, I can't think of something that most people would have less interest in than a Mario versus Donkey Kong game. And yes, I know there's a couple of you out there that adore that series, but nah.
It sold 61,930 units upon release in Japan.
Yeah.
That ain't great.
All right. Yeah.
But it was also a game that was sold for cheaper. So I think Nintendo kind of at least knew that it wasn't going to be a huge seller.
I mean,
it is still a weird one, though, to put out.
Yeah.
At least Luigi's Mansion, I'm like, okay, there's some fan base to this. Like,
Luigi's Mansion 3 sold 10 million copies on Switch.
Fucking Christ.
So,
yeah, okay.
Luigi's Mansion 2 makes sense.
Yeah. And Paper Mario, I understand that one. I understand certain aspects of these where the fan base is big enough. I've never heard anyone be like, yeah, my favorite Nintendo series is Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
No.
Especially because, like, the only game that's, like, not a Lemmings clone is the first game, which is the one they remastered. It's Donkey Kong 94 Part 2, essentially. Like, I don't get why they remastered this. I'm not complaining. I just don't get it. It's one of those weird, this might be somebody, like, did Miyamoto walk in and be like, we're remaking this? And everybody just had to go, okay. Like, don't get it. But I bought it.
We got one more email and a couple tweets, and we'll get out of here. This is a long episode.
I didn't realize there was... I thought that was the last email.
No, I got one more. This one comes from Jeremy. He says, hey guys, I hope all is well in your world, and happy Father's Day to all you dads. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, there's people in my life that call me daddy. I count too.
No, there's not. Stop
Yeah.
lying.
You're correct.
Dang, I was rocking with you. I was like, hell yeah.
No, Ken's right. I was just shitting. Just fucking around. Yeah.
It says, well, I quit my job of 4 years the other day as selling cars isn't paying the bills anymore. So now I'm driving for a couple of the Uber slash DoorDash slash Walmart places. Man, what a relief from car sales. On the game's end of things, I'm in a bit of a funk. After Dragon's Dogma 2, I've been kind of meh on what to play next. I got into XCOM 2 heavy, but it crashed on the PS5 and deleted my save. This email sounds excessively whiny. Sorry about that. What games have pulled you out of a funk? Thanks for the show, gents.
Well, first off, I want to say, like, damn, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not sure to say sorry that you quit your job, because, like, I know car sales aren't doing very well right now. At the same time, like, I think you're happy about it.
Yeah, he seems happy.
Okay. Like, I hope, I hope, it all works out for you. Man, games that get me out of a funk.
I wish I had an answer for that question because I would be playing it right now.
I think Ken and I are both in one.
I've tried so many games, I just can't get anything to hook. Ever since I finished Stellar Blade, I just can't get into another single player game. I just can't. I played the shit out of Stellar Blade 2. Like, I put 40 hours in that game.
Man, yeah, you did. Jedi Survivor helped pull me out of my funk. And there's also one that Jay actually talked about that I picked up that I can't think of, but you like playing a game of D&D and it's like hand drawn. Oh God, I cannot think of it. Legend of White, I think. WIGHT or something. Hang on, let me see. Type this in.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so.
I thought you said you had played it because it came out on Xbox. Like, you messed with it, but you didn't actually like play it for real.
I think I know what game you're talking about, but that name doesn't sound right.
It might not be. I can't think of the name.
Like, I thought,
but it's a really cute game.
Like a storybook or something, and like
yeah, it's like you're in school.
RPG time, Legend of Right.
That's what
okay.
it is.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. That game is really good. And I don't know if it's on sale now. It was on sale on Xbox for like $10 or $11.99 or something, but it was really cute. And it was pretty simple. Like it's this like handwritten RPG. Like the art was cool because it's like all hand drawn and it like happens like on the screen, kind of like in Comics World, or is that what that was called on Genesis?
Comic Zone.
Like,
Comic Zone.
Comic Zone. That's what it was. So like
this game plays
the
better
person
than that one.
Yeah, that
draws.
game sucked.
It wasn't that great, but the art in this is really fun. But that helped pull me out of a funk. I tried something different. Like just try something outside your box, like something that just looks.
Are you trying to tell me to play a card game or a roguelike? Is that what you're trying to do?
Honestly, you probably should. I mean, if you're in a funk with the stuff that you know, then change it up. Try something different.
I did. I tried Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I was disturbed and turned it off.
Okay, well, obviously
Vampire
that wasn't
Survivors.
one.
I mean, that's always a good.
There you go.
Yeah, I could
that
play.
Could probably help. Yeah.
I have 3 games that I can play whenever. I can play Madden, I can play Vampire Survivors, or I can play Overwatch. You know, What?
Nothing, man. That's wild that Overwatch pulls you out of. Like, I just feel like that would just put you deeper in. Like,
I put 90
in a row.
90 hours into this season, 500 plus games. I maxed the battle pass last night. Like Prestige maxed it. Like I hit level 200.
Jesus, dude. Jesus Christ.
I always hit level 80. I've only hit level 200 like 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've never. I think I maxed out the one. I didn't like prestige it, but I got the skin for the Junker Queen one.
Yeah, level 80 is the max of like earning stuff. Once you get into the prestige, it's just titles. It's useless.
Right. Yeah, I didn't do that far. Actually, I think I got some of the titles, but I know I didn't finish it out because I remember y'all did. But I didn't get all of them.
Well, I just finished it last night. I think the last title for this one is Hashimoto Goon or something. I don't remember. Mine just says Overwatch Agent right now because I feel like that's appropriate.
Goon says something means something else nowadays.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't use that one. I just use Overwatch Agent. So that sounds
Nice.
that's appropriate for me. I don't have one. Sorry. I'll do the tweets now. This is what happens when you record for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
This is what happens when you let Anthony on the show. I'm sorry.
No, I
What?
enjoy your
It's been
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I rambling mess.
Perfidy says, Happy Father's Day to you all, thank you. Why
Thank
do
you.
some fanboys hate Xbox so much when it has done so many great things for gaming?
That is a good question.
I don't have an answer.
Tribal. I can tell you, it's tribalism. It's
Sure, but like, do you not agree that it seems like the hate goes to Xbox a little harder than the other two?
It does.
yeah, right
Yeah.
now, yes.
I mean, it's really bad
like,
out there.
It's just, I think it shows, it stands out more because it's 2 generations in a row. But like, let me remind you that when PlayStation 3 first came out, and for majority of its lifespan, Xbox 360, like, people that played 360 talked shit about PlayStation 3.
Oh, I still see
like,
people talk
it's-
about shit about PlayStation 5, and I know it was worse during the 360 era, but I don't know that it's ever been this bad to where
I think
like the media's even
maybe.
in on it in some cases, which is weird.
Yeah, maybe not. I just, to me, it's like, I have to justify my purchase because I don't have anything else to justify it with because I'm not playing video games on it.
I mean, it has to be that because some people be like, "Well, not everybody can afford that," and then you got people out here like tweeting photos of Lamborghinis. Like, motherfucker, you can afford an Xbox if you got a Lamborghini and a PlayStation.
I'm glad your rental went over well. I don't. If you take a picture of a Lamborghini to try to show me up, I'm going to accuse you that you're driving a fake Lambo.
Oh, you remember
That
when
it's
the
a
doctor got
conversion
in
kit?
trouble for fanboying because he was like, "Look, I'm a surgeon." Like,
Oh yeah, because he did that footage
No.
like in the middle of a procedure
surgery
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that because I try not to fill my brain with rot.
You know what? That was when you left Twitter. It was actually
Good
it
for
happened like
me.
a month after you had left. I remember we were talking about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
this dude went way far.
Like if you a doctor, you could afford both. So just shut the
Right.
fuck up. Like who cares?
But the thing to me is like, if you had better games to play, if you had more games to play, you don't hear about this as much.
Man, I can't imagine anybody in this day and age not having something to play. Like I'm in a funk, but it's
but
not
these
for
are
a
people-
lack
and
of
I'm going to
titles.
say something that's going to be a little mean to some people, and I don't really care. They're normies. They're normies. These are people that who think this is what playing video games is about, and it's like, no. Like, it's kind of like how, and I know people like this show, but it's kind of like how Big Bang Theory. It's like when they talk about superheroes or whatever, there's an argument. Most nerds aren't doing that. There's always one, sure, but like it's really not as people that like the same thing generally talk to each other like they're two people that have way too much time on their hands to enjoy the stuff, and then are sharing that enjoyment. That's generally what this podcast tries to do until I come on, and then tell people on the internet that they suck. But that's what I'm saying. Like if you really enjoy something, like you would talk more positively about the thing you enjoy. I'm not saying you can't like PlayStation 5 more than an Xbox Series X or S or fucking Switch. I don't give a shit. But let's be honest, you're not talking about the positives of that. You're talking about the negatives of others, which tells me you don't really have anything positive to say about your console. Astrobot's on the way. I'm sure the conversation about the people that are really enjoying that game will not be surrounded by Xbox stuff. However, people that don't like Xbox and have this weird hate thing for it will bring up Astrobot as some sort of like one-up on Xbox. But it's like, yeah, but like what makes the game good? The people that are enjoying the game will show you clips of the game and be like, this game is amazing and all this stuff, and they'll gush about it. And then it's like, you go to that group of the console war fanboys and they'll be like, this is something that can't be done on Xbox. Why are you thinking about that when you're playing a game?
Yeah, that thought never crosses my mind when I'm playing a game.
That's weird. Like that's and that's what I'm saying. Like these are people that are not interested in video games. They're really not, because if they were, they'd be playing video games.
The only
people are
time
interested in like fighting on the internet.
The only time I think about another console when I'm playing a game is like when I was playing Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, man, I wish this was on another system that was more powerful.
That's a bit different. That's a bit different. That's a. I wish this game ran better.
Yeah, like that's the only time I think about it. Like when I'm playing Stellar Blade, I'm like not thinking like, oh man, this could never be on Xbox. Like it totally could. Who cares? Like
yeah, it to me, yeah, wanting better out of a game is a bit different than being like this game. They could never do that on the other thing. I'm enjoying it. They aren't. Weird.
Yeah,
weird.
Loser behavior. Hashtag.
And like that's a weird, like, you go outside and like find people arguing with each other about anything. Like,
I wanted you to know that I go to
weird. You're weird people. Like arguments happen. I don't understand. I'm negative. How are you worse than me?
I usually go to Burger King and get a Whopper, and then I go sit in the McDonald's parking lot and laugh at people coming out with Big Macs. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I do that.
When I'm going to be honest, if you had said that when I wasn't on the podcast and I thought you were 1,000 pounds, I would have believed you.
Wait, what?
Like,
Anthony used to think that me and Drew were like 1,000 pounds.
Let me break down the established lore in my head when I just listened to the podcast and didn't know what anybody looked like. I thought Ken and Drew were both 1,000 pounds each. Because these fuckers would talk about Taco Bell like nobody's business, and everybody else would be silent and would just be Drew and Ken talking about food, and I'm like, these guys have to be 500 pounds each. These guys are working for their own TLC show. I'm telling you. But you have to understand, Ken was like, man, 20. When did you stop smoking, Ken?
Oh, dude, it's getting close.
Almost a decade?
Yeah, it's getting close.
So I started listening right shortly after you quit. So Ken was coughing a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that happened. Yep.
So that wasn't helping.
That was making me think he was 1,000 pounds. I thought John was younger than everybody else.
No, he the oldest.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, John's got to be around my age.
No, he an old man.
And I thought Jay was like Hispanic. I don't know why. Because I had never read his name. If I had read his name, I was like, oh, as soon as I read his name, I'm like, he's Korean.
That's fucking hilarious.
I don't know.
He used to think you were white, Terrence, just so you know.
Nice, of course. I'm not surprised. I'm not even surprised.
No, because Terrence wasn't on the podcast. Nice try, Ken.
I know, I was just funny. All right, two more tweets and we'll get out of here. Shogun says, Happy Father's Day. Hope you guys had a great day and spent time with your family. I will say...
No, we're doing this podcast again.
Yeah, I know, right? I will say it, Dragon Age didn't look that bad, but I am a Dragon Age Inquisition guy, and I don't care how modern this game looks, that combat sold me.
So wait, is there a group of people that don't like Inquisition? Is that what I'm understanding?
No, I think what it is, well, okay, Ken might be able to answer this. I think specifically it was just people were turned off, because I think Ryan is one of them, kind of by the action combat of this one, because it's more akin to 2, which I liked 2. But this looks like it's taking it a step further. Like, this just looks like a straight up action RPG with some Dragon Age flavor, which I'm all for. But a lot of people, I think, missed the
original game.
Yeah, the original one, because they've changed it like from the original game. Like every
the original game was very much different. KOTOR in combat.
Yep.
And 2 was just like straight action, and then 3 kind of melded the two a little bit, and like 4 looks like it's going back to 2. It's like,
well, they said that they're taking so you know how you can pause the action and like give commands and stuff. They're taking that ability away, so it looks like they're doing it basically looks like Mass Effect now. Like, so you get the wheel with your power, which they had that, but you get the wheel with your powers and stuff.
The combat isn't what threw me off at 2. It was the bland environments and kind of crappy story. Like,
really, I liked Hawk.
I felt the characters were not as endearing, and my God, could you get another enemy template or palette for a background? Because them environments, oof. That game was rough visually. Like, there was no variety to it, like at all.
I got you.
So I think that's what turned me off of the second one. Now the first one I loved, the third one I loved. We'll see. Maybe this is like every other one hits, so maybe I won't dig this one for me. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll play it. That's all I got.
Oh, I thought there was one more. Okay.
No, the last tweet was 2 tweets, just 2 separate tweets.
Oh.
I got to shill my chair, so go get yourself a chair.
Hey, hold on. Let me
Go to
shill
eWin
your
Racing.
chair. And shill your chair. I have a better sell for you though.
Okay, well you gotta go to the eWin Racing, get yourself a chair, use the code ZTGD, get 20% off, because we get you discounts here. Like I said, I don't sell shit unless I use it. I've been sitting in an eWin chair for like 15 years. Shit's comfortable. So go
It's
get
nice.
one. Okay, what are you gonna sell me, Anthony?
All right, listen out there. You're listening to me now, trying to sell you the chair, and I don't even get anything from it. But you've been sitting in that chair how long? You nasty ass. Turn around and smell your chair. I'm dead serious.
Dude,
Do
I
it.
would never smell my chair.
Exactly. Buy a new chair.
I'd drop probably like
And
5,000
wash your
farts
ass.
in this sumbitch. There ain't no way.
Exactly. It's gross. Eventually you have to change that chair.
You know it's true now that you think
Yes.
about it. How many farts are in your chair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
How many close calls where you're like, ooh, that one could have been dangerous. You think poop particles aren't getting in the chair?
oh yeah, they in there.
Especially if that leather's cracking, it's just absorbing right into the pack.
Especially if you've had Taco Bell. Am I right?
Ugh. Buy a new chair. Buy a new chair.
I mean, now that you put it that way, I think everybody should go and use code ZTGD to get 20% off. Clean up your farts. That's it, though.
And hold on, if you're really smart about this, you can basically what you do is you give that chair to someone you don't like. Now they're sitting in your farts.
Wow. That's
Right? Your old chair.
okay.
Fucking that's called dominance. That's an animalistic move.
So you fart? Do you fart on things that you want to like own? Is that your thing?
If you listen,
I think he does.
if I listen, no, but if I stare, if there was like, say we were going for the same like slice of pizza and it was the last one, if I farted on it, would you fucking fight me for it?
Depends
Probably
on where
not.
the pizza was from.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Wow.
I'm just kidding. That was funny though.
That was.
Oh shit. Anyway,
I don't have to. Good news is I don't have to fart on Papa John's. It already tastes like shit.
exactly. That's 100% true. We will be back next week with more video games. Granted, the two of us don't melt because it's gonna be hot here this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Lord.
Yeah, it's already 90 outside right now. I just
Yep.
Just gonna go cry in a corner. But yeah, if you want to shoot us an email, send it to podcast@ztgd.com. You wanna tweet at us? It's at ZTGD Radio on Twitter. It will always be Twitter, forever. Unless anybody's anything else, we're gonna hear. Peace out, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.